mass fatality or other mass casualty hazards. This is further proof that this company, what you were contracting here or you were agreeing to do more than just provide health services to officers, but in fact, to deal with the public as well, matters that concern the public.
Commissioner, you want me to limit to this, or I can give, you allow me to give an example? Because when I'm trying to say, no, man, you must.
All I wanted to say was, am I correct to say when you read that paragraph that I've just read?
Oh, you're correct.
It means they would do more than.
Yes, I wanted to give an example that happened in Boksburg, where a disaster happened, where a truck
Exploded. Yes.
And it killed many people. The same
Was
companies.
Medicare 24 there?
No, the same company. Yes, the same companies that it's in Boksburg next to them. But the same companies, hospital, they played a very crucial role. Security companies, you see, to manage the scene and assist us in terms of doing all these things.
No,
I agree with you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I agree with you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Silo, sorry for taking
No,
your time.
it's quite in order. Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Mkonazi, Commissioner Mkonazi, my apologies. If you go to page 9 of your statement,
Oh, yes.
that is the end of paragraph 27. And the manner you have dealt with your annexures requires me to do some clarifications. At page 9, you conclude that paragraph, which starts from in the preceding page at 27, right? And you say, she received an email from Superintendent Fontaine and submitted to Chief Mapie Jabulani Mapie. You see where I'm reading?
Page?
9.
Yes, last paragraph, paragraph 29.
Paragraph 27. The top of your page 9 should be the tail end of paragraph 27.
It starts from page 8, then it
over
continues
eight,
towards page 9, yes.
Yes.
It's the
So,
top first
exactly.
paragraph.
That's correct.
Yes,
That's correct.
yes,
I just want to draw your attention to the last line of that paragraph where it says, submitted to Chief Isaac Jabulani Mapie. See where I'm reading?
Yes.
Now you say attached as one of the annexures. I understand that when you say so, you mean that you have annexed a document to your statement. Is that correct? I understand that when you say in your statement, as you have at paragraph 27, you say, let me read the whole sentence, proof of communication, communication dates, and an affidavit from Chief's PA Liesel Tyers, where she confirmed that on the 24th of October 2021, she received an email from Superintendent Fontaine and submitted to Chief Jabulani Mapie. Yes. Then you state attached as one of the annexures.
Yes.
I understand that when you use that phrase, attached as one of the annexures, you actually mean that there is a document you have attached to your statement in this regard.
Yes, as earlier on I communicated, I said there's a paper trail.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm not taking issue with that. I'm just trying to help the commissioners go through your statement.
Oh, yes.
Because normally we would say we attach it as annexure and we give it a number. But you don't give numbers to your annexures, and I just need us to quickly help them navigate the annexures file. So if you go to the annexures file, the big file with your annexures, that would have flags marked JD1, which is your range, to JD13. You see that file?
JD, yes.
Yes,
1
okay.
to 7. Oh, yes.
Goes
yes.
up
The
until
whole
the
file,
file.
yes, the whole file.
Now, would I be correct to ask the commissioners at the end of paragraph 27, where you say attached as one of the annexures, to help them identify that as JD1? Is that the document you want them to refer to when they consider what you have stated in that paragraph? Because otherwise it makes it difficult for them to read your document, right?
Yes.
When they don't know which annexure you are referring them to.
Yes.
So may I propose that at the end of the annexure you reference there is JD1?
It's JD1, And it's page 1 and 2.
Yes?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
No, it's
Commissioner-
1 and 2 and 3. It's 3 pages.
Yes, yes. But they are all under the flag
No, it's,
JD1.
oh, I'm wrong. It's 4 pages. It's 1, 2, 3. So it's 4 pages. It's having for Tains and me, and it's having the statement from Lizelle. We are correct.
Indeed.
Yes.
But those 4 pages are all under the flag marked JD1.
Yes, yes.
Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
So Commissioners, at the end of paragraph 27, can we kindly add an extra JD1? And because of your approach to annexures, we will do that periodically so that we assist the commissioners with your-
Thank you. And you assisted us a lot in terms of doing this. Thank you.
So then, we go to your paragraph 28, still on page 9. And I'll just quickly read the start part of that. You say the formal instructions from my superior, in parentheses, Goodman Mzolo, close parentheses, which were issued to me on the 15th of October 2021, clearly outline the task and the due date for the quote-unquote to-do list concerning the SOP for Operational Security Division, other responsibilities. This plan or SOP was necessary as the department had not yet established one since its inception, and officers are working with private security companies without formalities. The instructions were to be completed by the 20th of October, and you state a time. The attached email trail serves as evidence of these formal instructions, and it was also followed by a meeting between my superior and myself. Are you with me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
yes, yes,
Now,
yes.
my first question is, what formal instructions are this? I can't make out from paragraph 27 what you suggest your superior, Commissioner Mzolo, instructed you to do on the 15th of October 2021.
Yes. Okay. May I answer?
Yes, please
Yes.
help. Thank you.
Commissioners, in the 3 PESCO or 4 PESCO meetings, there was some engagement. It's not part of this, but I will explain. Yes, that everyone works with the security company. The way,
Commissioner, I do apologize. I do apologize. May I seek your help first? Because if you answer this question, it might resolve my challenge.
Oh,
Is that
yes.
okay? Thank
Yes.
you. Please stay with your annexures JD2. Now, I want you to turn your attention to JD2, which will start at page 5 of your annexure file. Do you see, have you located it?
or are you saying I must start with JD2,
No, let's go to JD2.
leave this one, or look at both of them?
No, we will come back to you.
Oh.
Yeah. I was thinking that perhaps a consideration of an extra JD2 might help clear the confusion in my head. And I just need you to confirm that that's the case. So if we go to JD2, I see a document there. There is a 2-page annexure. The first page is from, it's an email actually, from Goodman Mzolo, dated Wednesday, October 23rd, 21. And it's addressed to you, Julius Mkwanazi, and the subject line is to-do list 15 October 2021, correct?
It's not page 2, ne? It's JD2. The one that I was having.
Commissioner?
Page 5.
Yes.
Page 5.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry if I showed confusion.
Yes.
I wanted to draw your attention to annexure JD2.
Oh, yes.
It starts at page 5. It's got 2 pages.
Yes.
The first page, which is 5,
Yes.
is what I've just read, that it's an email from Commissioner Mzolo addressed to you, dated the 13th of October 2021, and it has as a subject list to-do list 15 October 2021.
Yes. In my statement,
Yeah, no, we're coming. That's why I brought you here. And you confirm that there's an attachment.
yes, in my statement, there's something that I wanted to check. I even requested that may the commissioner request for the minutes that leads to this, before this. As I was trying to explain that when you can request for minutes in 3 or 4 meetings before these documents. In our minutes, the issue of working with private security companies, the issue of me directed or given a mandate to facilitate that. The meeting was chaired by Chief Mapie. The last one, it was chaired by Mr. Makafula. It's a meeting of our own PESCO meeting, you see. It's just that I can't get those minutes, but I think you may have access of those minutes. It assists, it leads to this, yes.
Okay,
You see, but now you want me to talk to this, ne?
yes.
Yes, this is what.
No, I wanted to draw your attention first to that, then we are going to go to the second page, then I'm going to pose my question.
Oh, okay, yes.
Is that approach acceptable to you?
The second page is 6, the number 6.
Yeah,
page
exactly.
6.
So page 5 is the email.
Oh, yes.
The email indicates there's an attachment.
Yes.
And the attachment in terms of the subject line is quote unquote to-do list 15 October 2021. We together thus far.
Yes, yes, yes.
Then at 6 is a document that is headed to-do list 15 October 2021. It's got a number of items listed there. The first is elections name list from other divisions and so forth. Now, when I look further down, you've got 3 items highlighted in green. The first reads due date of SOP from Security Division and all 20 October 2021. Then followed by a requirement, daily reports, email complaints. At the end, the last one, resolve complaints, internal public. Do you see what I'm reading?
Yes.
Now, I'm interested in the first highlighted. You say it lists a due date of SOP from Security Division and all 20 October 2021.
Yes.
Okay, now, when we go to your statement, these are the documents you are talking about. When you say you received a formal instruction from Commissioner Mzolo.
I'm with you.
This is the document you are talking about?
Yes, that's why I even said I will request that again you check.
Okay, we'll get to the minute, yeah.
Yes.
Because now it's time to tell the commissioners to please scribble against paragraph 28, that the formal instruction is what Commissioner Mkwanazi has submitted as JD2. Okay. Now,
yes. Can I raise something again? In terms of highlights, I didn't highlight it for this. I highlighted when out of the engagement that I had with IP then.
Yes.
You see, they wanted clarity, then I had to highlight them.
yes.
Because I spoke to them about it. They said, no, which are this one that I had to highlight? It's not for you. It was a document that was submitted
Yes.
as an annexure then.
And I can confirm, even just looking at it, it's a photocopy of a highlighted document.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, I accept that. So we have sorted out your to-do list.
Yes.
You then, say, yes, Chair.
Just a simple matter, I assume you wanted us to note that this is JD2.
Indeed, Chair.
Against-
That's JD2.
Against where this says formal instructions from.
Against form, yes, but further on, it says clearly outline the task and due date for the to-do list.
All right, yeah.
Now, the to-do list, now we have located it, it's JD2, together with the email that forwarded the to-do list to Commissioner Mkwanazi.
Thank you. Just a matter of clarification, in the hope that I'm not misreading this, Commissioner. In the second line of paragraph 28, you refer to 15 October 15. The email appears to have been sent on 13 October. Look at page 5. It's just a matter of the dates, that's all. Nothing complicated. Which is which?
No, Commissioner.
Or am I misreading?
No, Commissioner. Remember, I've said that's when I met with it. It's a document that is, these dates, may I request to, let's concentrate on this. It's a document that I had to send so that I can submit to IP. That's why it's having 2 different dates, you see.
No, I'm looking at the bottom.
Yeah.
Sent.
No, it says sent Wednesday, Oh, okay, yes, it's sent Wednesday, October for the
Yes.
15th of,
by Commissioner Mzolo to you, and the date given is 13 October. And you say you got the instruction from Commissioner Mzolo on 15 October.
yes. No,
That's-
yes, on the 15th October, we had a formal meeting, we said, the two of us. That's when he formally, or he sent this before, but he said, let's meet before I go. He went on the 16th on leave, but let's meet on the 15th.
So there was the email on the 13th and then an oral instruction on the 15th.
Yes, maybe I may have done, yes, I get to now.
All right, all
Yes, I get to now.
Ms. Silo, it's another simple matter. Commissioner, you said PESCO, in our PESCO meeting or something. What is that?
Oh, and I was.
What's the full
it's-
name and
oh,
what
yes.
is it?
Yes, yes. I don't know why are they calling it PESCO, but it is the chief's meeting where he meet with his immediate subordinate, which is Deputy Chief Operations, Deputy Chief Lamuntra, Deputy Chief Security and Loss Control. Before there was a Deputy Chief Compliance, but it's not there. Then it is your head of licensing. The head of licensing is not a police officer. Yes, it's that meeting. They call it. I found them calling it PESCO since I was.
You don't know why they
telling-
call it PESCO?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Maybe they
that's
are.
all right. That's okay. Thank you.
The academy or the learned friends, they will understand it better than
No,
I.
that's
But
okay.
I take it
You've
as the senior
explained it.
management meeting of the department.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Silo.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Sorry, you know why I'm saying PESCO? It will be simple if you want those documents. When you say PESCO, they will take it very fast because you know it is PESCO. You know, the reason, but it's going to be easier for you and say, I want PESCO meeting, they will assist in terms of getting.
Thank you, Commissioner Mkwanazi. So still staying on paragraph 28, you conclude that paragraph with the following. Also, CSMT September/October minutes. Firstly, what is CSMT?
It's the same explanation that I was
this
giving.
PESCO,
Yes, yes,
okay.
departmental senior management
Oh,
or a
okay.
meeting. But it's SMT, not CSMT. It says CSMT.
It says CSMT.
No, it's SMT.
So we cancel
Yes,
this.
yeah,
All
that's
right,
SMT.
the typo.
Departmental
That's fine.
SMT, yes.
And what would the minutes tell? You don't annex them. What would they tell us if we locate them?
No, I was tasked to develop and work with the operational and security companies to develop an SOP and a plan. I still feel that I didn't execute it very well because of elections but I was tasked to sit down, call all of them, develop something, and we make sure that we have an agreement between us and the system operational, not an MOU, but just an operational, so that we can know in this area, it's the security companies. In this area, it's the security companies, registered security companies in this area, then they can work. Because the challenges that we're having, they arrest, beat people, our officers come in and take the person, and because one success, they go to SAP 14, want to detain the suspect. When we are there, the suspect is injured. When they check, it's MPD who detained the suspect. Then litigations are coming to us as the department.
Okay.
But it was to develop something like that to see and formalize it and say, we know that we're working to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So if I understand you correctly, SMT, that meeting, authorized you, Commissioner Mkwanazi, to go form relationships with private security companies. Is
Yes,
that what we'll find in that minute?
Yes.
Are you absolutely certain of that?
Yes, I was asked.
On what basis, on what authority did they so
No.
authorize you?
Remember, in SMT, we all sit there. I was raising it that the litigations that we are getting, or the challenges that we are getting, we are working with security companies that we don't know. Security companies that we work, there's no formal relations between us and the stakeholders or in the security agencies with those that we are working with. And it's a good idea that we one copied from SAPS. You know, SAPS knows all the security agencies that are working with. They know who this is the person, they know the owners and everything. We ask somebody can come and say, I'm the owner. Then we say, yes, it's the owner, we continue with that. And it puts us in a...
Commissioner Mkhwanazi, I want to come back to this issue because...
Yes, I'm talking to
in
you.
trying to answer this issue, you raised more concerning issues. You stated that the concern was that you as EMPD were working with security companies that you don't know.
Yes,
So it was already happening.
No, our members are working on the ground, like even
With
currently.
security companies that EMPD doesn't know.
Yes, our
Was
members
that
are... yes,
the correct position? Factually, was that what was happening?
I'm saying even now it's happening.
So your members, as they are executing their duties along the streets of EMPD, they could be doing so in conjunction with private security companies in circumstances where there is no formal relationship by EMPD.
Yes, there's an attachment, I did of photos of a photo, of a photo here with the security company for illegal mining. You see that, I can see it's a branded security company, the guys, but there's no formal. They will say, no, we work with illegal mining and our officers, it's a multiple force. There's the excitement that this we are executing these duties, we'll have an arrest. But at the end of the day, when you're in court, they will ask you, who are those people? You can't even identify them. Say, no, it was a security that assisted you. It's happening, it's giving us challenges.
Sorry to interrupt you,
Indeed,
and I'm probably going to interrupt your flow, Ms.
No, not at all.
I just want to get an idea of the timing. So this is of around the 15th of October, 2021, and that's when you then get the mandate, which I assume was intended to result in the formalization of this situation.
Yes,
Where members are working with security companies with no formal arrangement that existed.
Yes, Commissioner.
So, are you saying at that stage there was no formal arrangement with any security company whatsoever at that stage?
No, there was. Operationally, members are working, there's no formal.
Even on the 16th of October 2021, no such formal arrangement?
No, I started to engage, but I didn't.
No, please answer the question directly, Commissioner.
No,
Even your 28 refers to 15 October.
Well, no, there
but I just want to take you to the following day, and you've already said, as at the 15th of October 2021, there was no formal arrangement with any of the security companies. Now I want to take you to the very following day, the 16th of October 2021. That was still the position. There was no development.
No,
As at 16 October 2021.
Commissioner, as I've said, that
Still no formal arrangement with any security company.
no, there was, but I didn't execute it the way we wanted it to be executed. You see, I think election disturbed me because I was supposed, when I was preparing for election, I was supposed.
Commissioner, it's either there was or there wasn't.
You know, by that
you can't say there was, but I had not.
But by that time,
Sorry. It is either there was or there wasn't. Was there, as at 16 October 2021, a formal arrangement with one or more security companies?
No, there was.
Formal arrangement.
There was a communique.
There was.
Yes,
There was a what?
A communique.
There was a communique.
Yes. But
what communique? What was the nature of this communique?
that we are working with these security companies, those that I have met, you see, there was a communique.
Written by whom?
Sorry?
Written by whom?
No, those that I work with, I met with different security companies as I was working with them.
No, you referred to a communique. I'm trying to establish who the author of that communique was.
I wrote to some of the security companies requesting to meet them and engaging them and formalize the meetings with them to check in different areas. In other areas, they met with different directors of the regions. Like when you are in Eastern Region, you know the security companies that do, because I may not know all of them, you see.
I'm totally confused. I'll go back to my question. You said in so many words, as at 16 October 2021, there was no formal arrangement with any security company for it to assist the metro with the provision of security services.
Yes, that,
You have said so in so many words during this engagement between you and me, correct?
you are correct in that.
The very following day, 16 October 2021, had there been a change, or was the situation still as it was on the day, on 15 October 2021, the day before? I would be surprised if, just 24 hours, poof, suddenly
No, that's
there's
why-
a change. Was the situation still the same on 16 October 2021?
Commissioner, that's why I'm saying to you, 3 weeks back, that's why I'm saying to you, refer to the minutes. Because even though I met with Mr. Nzolo, but there was a tasking.
Commissioner Mkwanazi, you say that on 15 October 2021, there was no formal arrangement with any security company to assist the metro with the provision of security services. Am I correct that you have said so?
Yes.
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 Now, please listen to my question. Please listen to my next question. My next question is, had anything changed by the 16th of October 2021? Or was the situation still the same as it was on 15 October 2021? Simple question. Had it changed? Yes or no? Had it
Yes.
changed?
Yes. Yes.
Overnight?
Not overnight.
15 October 2021, 16 October, that would be overnight. Had anything changed?
Can I explain, Commissioner? You will tell me, no, you are losing
Okay.
it.
What had changed? What had changed?
You see, remember I've said there was a communication, we're communicating.
What
with
had
all of them,
changed?
but it was not.
Commissioner, you've spoken about the communique, and I asked you questions around it, and I didn't follow what you were trying to say. I am saying, what had changed? It's a simple question. What had changed from the 15th of October 2021 to the 16th of October 2021, the very following day? What had changed? It's a simple question.
Are you saying in terms of the numbers? Or
In terms of the answer that you gave when I first engaged you, I asked you if there was in existence any formal arrangement with any security company for it to provide security services to the metro. I'm talking 15 October 2021, and you said there was not.
Commissioner,
Correct?
Can I correct you on something?
I'm asking you this for the third time now.
Yes.
Is it correct that you said, no, there was not, as at 15 October 2021? Am I correct that you said so? Yes or no?
No, I think we were losing it. Can I clarify something?
No. I'm losing nothing. I want to know whether you said so or not. There's nothing I'm losing.
No, can I clarify something? You'll get me.
No. Please answer the question. Did you or did you not say so? Remember, you've already said more than once. You've already said more than once that there wasn't.
But
So I'm repeating the question now because when I go to the 16th of October 2021, you confuse me. That is why I keep going back to the 15th of October 2021. Do you confirm that you said that as at 15 October 2021, there was no formal relationship or
Now I get you.
in terms of which it cannot be that just because of my use of relationship, suddenly you understand me.
No, you
Commissioner.
said,
You said, yes.
You said providing services to EMPD. They're not providing services to EMPD.
Okay.
It's relations when they're working with communities. Because we've got different companies that are contracted, that are providing services to us. I don't want to go out here having another thing. They said,
Okay, maybe then. Maybe then
Yes.
please clarify what the issue about 28 was, it was what exactly?
20.
Paragraph 28, your paragraph 28. What was
No,
lacking?
oh yes.
What
yes.
was lacking?
It was about working relations with them when they are operating on the ground, not providing services to the city, but
Working with them.
when they are executing their crime prevention.
Having cooperation between
Yes,
the
yes.
EMPD and the security companies.
Yes, Commissioner,
So
you're
as of the
correct.
15th of October 2021,
Yes.
you say there was not.
Yes.
Okay, just a minute then. So the operative words are open quote, working relationship, close quote. Those are the operative words.
Yes, Commissioner.
All right. And I'll again move to the 16th.
Yes.
So you say, you've not said so thus far, but I want to find out if you do not say so, that on 16 October 2021, nothing had changed. The situation was still the same. The working relationship was still the same.
Yeah, I can say so because we haven't reached the number. In fact, it was even a dot. That's why I've said I feel that I failed. I didn't execute it the way that I was
So
mandated. to.
basically, nothing has had changed
Yeah,
from the 15th,
I will say so.
which you refer to in paragraph 28 of your,
Yes.
nothing had changed
Yes.
on 16 October. All right. Now, let me refer you to the annexure file of Commissioner Spies. May the attorneys please assist.
Please assist the commissioner, they are in the box.
No, I will.
Oh, okay. And go to RS.
Commissioner,
Yes.
I'm even afraid of asking for 1 minute.
Asking for?
For another 1 minute.
No.
I will
Please,
jump on the faster run.
Always feel free, Commissioner.
before we start,
Always
yeah.
feel free, thank you.
Chair, if I may, it completely escaped my mind when we came back from lunch to point out that we are not finishing Commissioner Mkwanazi by 1600 today. So we're going to have to sit longer. I was going to propose a break around 4.
Please ask us and
So-
don't dictate to us.
Didn't I say I was going to request?
Oh, hey, sometimes.
Okay, because
I'm very sorry, Ms. Zillo.
I would never, I could never dictate, Chair. So
Shouldn't.
I was saying, should it be a comfort break because it's 15:35 now?
The one-
or
the one
should
would
it be
otherwise
a
have
longer
taken at
break?
4.
Yes, that's what the question is.
Commissioner, by all means, we come back at 10 to.
EFC 130, live from the World Sports Betting Arena.
Time to go hard and put your game face on.
Watch it on SABC Sport Channel on DTT Channel 4 from 7 p.m. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and a whole country affected by gender-based violence. All on your favorite SABC radio station. Call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. X at SFM Radio and at Ashraf Garda.
Okay. By the way, let's just do this before we get back to matters around the Madlanga Commission. What about your thoughts on the issues that we've covered so far? So you can WhatsApp voice note. It's the best way to get us now as we cover the commission. To do that, 086 000 2032 is to call in live, so we won't do that right away. But WhatsApp voice notes 0614 104 107, and you can even send us a text message as well, which some people are indeed doing. So let's talk about that. I mean, here's some responses from you in terms of what you may have heard today.
Good afternoon. It is Mzo here in KZN Pine Town. I am expressing my happiness with the way how the senior council or the commissioners are asking questions there. They only ask the questions until a person goes himself inside a deep hole. They don't push you to any hole, but you just go yourself into a deep hole. I like how the commissioners are asking questions there, especially those two women over there. They are top with asking questions into these people who are bringing evidence over there in the Madlanga Commission. I'm very impressed of their work rate. I'm very thumbs up to those commissioners. Thank you very much, Ashraf.
Okay, there we are. Well, you see, that's the point. Some people thought these guys are too soft. It's just going to be a bit of a joke. It's not that way at all, isn't it? There's some really skillful people out there, and that is a credit to South Africa.
Good afternoon, Ashraf Gade and a hardworking team of producers behind you. My name is Mpepum Pireni from Limpopo Mkumane village. Africa is an independent continent. It is true, but their leaders are useless. DRC and Rwanda, Northern Sudan and Southern Sudan are in America today. Tomorrow they will be signing a peace agreement in America. They are invited there to resolve their conflicts. No ways, after signing that agreement, America will negotiate peace of their gold as chief negotiator. We as African leaders in this situation. OAU is a useless organization. This is a pit bull without teeth. Till when shall African leaders salute Western leaders, who at the end of the day steal our minerals? America and the United Arab Emirates are the most high gold sellers with no gold mines in their countries. Thank you so much. I am Mpipum.
Well, there we are.
Village.
Thank you for that. And that's a commentary on the world. So, interesting thought about African leaders, as you have suggested, right? What for you has been the highlight of the Madlanga Commission today? Not yesterday, not the day before, just today. What for you has absolutely stood out?
Good afternoon. It is Mzo here in KZN Pine Town. I am expressing my happiness with the way.
Okay, wait, I played that already, so no need for a replay on that one there. Here's another.
Good afternoon, Ashraf. What we are listening today on Madlanga Commission is ANC's cadre deployment in action. Aw, my God. Julius Mkwanas, Shamas, and Kwali Nkos. I can't remember. It's a long time ago. Bye.
Okay. In fact, I mean, let's be honest. Whichever way you vote, the most of the employments or appointments or deployments have been done by the ruling party in that region, which by and large has been the ANC. Not always the case, and I think it's understandable when people are disappointed with the type of leadership they've now seen, they've had evidence of, then they're going to go back to the people and the party that, yeah, that appointed them. How do you defend that?
Hi, Mr. Ashraf. Mr. Ashraf, you see, uh, Mr. Mkwala today, he's saying it not like me and you, but I just renamed him today to call him Mr. You see. You see, Mr. You see, Commissioner, those things were not in that way. You see, they were done with these people. You see, and you see when you are in MPD, you don't even have bulletproofs. You see, so yeah, you see, that's how we do things. And I love it today. He's Spanish and he's Spanish. Thank you. Good show.
You see, you made a good point. You see, made me laugh. Yeah, you see. Okay, here's another. There's more. By the way, they come back at 10 so we'll get to them just now.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ashraf. Mbongo Sunisaye. Mr. Ashraf, why is the national government not removing the provincial commissioner of the Western Cape, Mr. Patekile? The gentleman, I don't know whether he's going or coming. He's just useless. He does not know what he's doing. You see, in October, 400 people were shot dead. Last night, 3 in Mitchell's Plain, they said 1 in Kukuletu. Why is he still there? Always attending crime scene. We've got a plan, we've got a plan. What plan? He does not have a plan. He must retire his old anyway and go chill with his grandchildren instead of earning fat salary for doing absolutely nothing. People are dying like flies in Western Cape. It is been saying he's got a plan.
Okay, listen, man, I've got a complaint. Too many of the people listening that make up the SAFM or the National Pulse community, they're calling me Mister, which means you are not listening to my advice. I've told you, you see, just call me Ashraf. So please just call me Ashraf. Cut out the Mister. I've told you that. You see?
Good afternoon, Ashraf. Tabo from Jamestown here. Ashraf, not that I promote what the king, has done, perhaps, by King Dallinger, by visiting with other, chiefs, by visiting Israel. But now, why is it that our government, I mean, the other time we had Gayton Mackenzie and other white politicians they have visited Israel previously, and nothing was said about them, particularly from government and even our president. But now you've got this king who happens to, I'm not necessarily bringing in the racial, I'm not pulling the race card, but now you've got this king and others who happen to be black. And so much is being said, about them. This is really not fair. It's very not fair. It's discriminatory on the basis of race.
So I'm not too sure what you mean when you say it's not fair. I mean, I know he's been there. There's been, support and criticism, depends who you talk to. But what part of his visits to what is called Israel is not fair? Here's one that maybe you may think is not fair. Listen to this one.
Hello, Ashraf and the entire team. I feel sorry for the commissioners. This is why municipalities are not performing well. If you listen to what the former city manager was saying, and this other director is saying today, I know, I can't. We should make sure. It's not make sure, man.
Okay, feel sorry for them. Listen, there's more to come, but we are imminently going to be back to the Madlanga Commission. So if there's time, we'll take more calls and WhatsApp comments from you. Do send the WhatsApps anyway. We'll bank it, and let's see what happens after this.
Spurs are counting on the value of 3 points to find a decent position in the top half.
And Richarlison has just tried to lock David Ryan. Wow. That is extraordinary from Richarlison.
Meanwhile, the Bees want to brighten the day of their fans with a good win.
Jensen opens it up for the day. It's Brentford's day for the third time in 4 seasons.
This is the Premier League. Experience the hot contest between Tottenham Hotspur FC and Brentford FC the Saturday 6 December at 4:30 p.m. live on SABC Plus and SABC 3. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
We're now going to classify gender-based violence and femicide as a crisis.
This 16 days of activism, SAFM stands firm under the theme Letsema, men, women, boys and girls working together to end gender-based violence and femicide. Together, we can break the silence. Together, we can protect our communities. Speak out, report it, take action. SAFM says no to gender-based violence. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. You are listening to the National Pulse with Ashraf Garda.
All right, if I had a vote to say, I'll take your calls or I get back to the Madlanga Commission. I think the Madlanga Commission is going to win. So let's get right back to the Madlanga Commission.
And it's clear what your answer was. Now, let me take you to, or rather, before I do that, let me find this out and just be clear in my mind. What exactly would the arrangement that you were being asked by your superiors to put in place, what form exactly would it have taken? What form would it exactly have taken?
Is to formalize a standard operational procedures with all those security companies that we feel, or all those security companies that are there, that we are executing different duties and providing it to our citizens, to our communities, to our area, or to those that we are servicing, you see. Not the one of those that we contract. There are those that we contracted that are only doing static. They are paid by this, a different thing. But those that are providing services to different business people, communities, whoever that approach, just to work with.
Would I be wrong to say it was to formalize the working relationship that was in existence, but which was not formal?
Oh, yes.
I'm correct to say
I understand you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being patient and putting me along.
Thank you, I'm happy. Now I'll take you to the file that I referred you to, the annexures of Commissioner Revo's piece. And I'm referring you particularly to RS2, small Roman numeral 2, which is at page 4. Page 4 of the annexures bundle.
Page 4 of RS.
That's RS22, 2 small Roman 2. Page 4.
Page 4. Not... Oh, yes.
Page 4.
Yes.
Now, let's look at the signature at the bottom there. It does look like all the other signatures of yours that we have seen. Is that not your signature?
No, I'm contesting it. I've said it's not. You see, last week I was having internal audit. I contested. I said, no. This is not my signature. It's having, it's like a big head. You see, it's JD. You see, this one, no. And I got this on social media too. There's the one that I've signed. It's just that I don't have access of it. But I think IP will have this. And anything that comes from Commissioner, I'm very sorry, from Commissioner Revo's piece, I'm now skeptical to take it.
So when did you first see this document?
In social media.
When?
When I was attacked. 2023, I think 2022, 2023. Yes, it was on social media.
Let me take you. Yes, yes.
There's a document that I submitted to IPT. You see, I don't think, it's not this one, you see. I think if you can have bundles of IPT.
What was the nature of that document?
No, they said I must submit document. I think I submitted document with registration plates and everything of the vehicles.
In the context of me engaging you on this one, you are saying there's a document that you sent. I'm asking you what was the nature of that document, the one you sent?
Yeah, it was talking about the vehicle that I signed and I handed over to them. Now, these are the vehicles, not this big list that you're showing me that is on social media. Because they came with this. They said they got this from Rivers Peace. I said, guys, it was 2022, by 2022, 2023, 2020. When I came from, as I told, when I came from suspension, when they met me, you see, they showed me this. They said, we've got documents. I said, not that one, not that one. You see, even last week, I met with auditors, commissioners, you see. They said, I've been contesting, I've been saying, not this document, you see. But last week when he presented, or 2 weeks back, that forged plan, I said it so, that this man is forging my documents.
I will take you through it in case down the line the question of the authenticity of the document is addressed. So I'll still take you through the document. I will read into the record the first part just under the heading, letter of confirmation. And maybe before doing that, let me say at the top it says, to whom it may concern, which does not have a specific addressee. So the top part after the heading says, this letter serves to confirm that the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department, under the command of Acting Deputy Municipal Police Commissioner Brigadier J.T. Mkwanazi of Specialized Services, open quote, has an endless working relationship and memorandum of understanding with CAT VIP to assist EMPD officers in any VIP protection and security services in and out of the city of Ekurhuleni, close quote. I emphasize that last bit because it refers to the existence of a working relationship. And what I should also emphasize here is that the letter is dated 16 October 2021. Now you'll understand why I asked you a good few questions around 15 October 2021 and 16 October 2021. Now, so you accept that if this letter is proved to be authentic, there would have been a working relationship which you describe, or which the writer describes as endless, as at 16 October 2021. Okay. I'm not saying you're
No,
right.
no, I'm not talking about this. Your sentence, yes.
I'm just saying, do you accept that if this letter is proved to be authentic, it tells us that as at 16 October 2021, there was an endless working relationship brought about by a memorandum between CAT VIP protection and the Metro. Do you accept? I'm not saying it's written.
No, I understand, Commissioner.
I'm saying if proved.
Yes.
Do you accept that? That's what.
Commissioner, you remember.
That's what it tells us.
Okay. Remember, Commissioner, the to-do list, it was about standard operational procedure.
Yeah.
You see. That means developing the way we are going to work operationally or the relations. I think we summarized it correct when we talk about the relationship. It was not about SOP,
So this
MOU.
one, so this one you are saying would have been a different relationship altogether.
Yeah, it will be different.
It's not what you are talking about,
Yes.
paragraphs 15, or rather paragraph 28.
Yes,
Something
yes.
different
Yes,
altogether.
yes. Standard operating procedure where we sit and develop something that will assist us in terms of your court, in terms of arresting procedure, all those things.
Okay, all right. That notwithstanding, the simple point would still be that there was not in existence, as at 16 October 2021, a memorandum of understanding.
Thank you, Ashraf. Top stories at 4 o'clock. 2 bodies discovered after flooding in New Hanover, and EFF accuses Manamela of perjury. Good afternoon. Search and risk recovery teams have discovered 2 bodies believed to be those of residents who went missing during the floods at New Hanover in Umshwati local municipality in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands last week. 3 people were reported missing when a river swept away an informal settlement. The body of the first victim, a woman, was discovered the day after the incident. Spokesperson for the Provincial Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs is Senzelwe Mzila.
The discovery of these bodies follows concerted efforts by communities working together with search and rescue teams following the tragic incident that occurred on 23 November, where severe thunderstorms brought about heavy rains which caused flooding. This discovery puts to an end a painful chapter within the community, as now the processes of identification can commence.
Suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Commissioner Julius Mkhwanazi has testified at the Madlanga Commission that he was not aware of a memorandum of understanding between the EMPD and CAT VIP. He claims that he was only made aware of it through the Madlanga Commission. The MOU between Commissioner Mkhwanazi and CAT VIP relates to the unlawful fitting of blue lights in CAT Matlala's vehicles. Commissioner Mkhwanazi has told evidence leader Mahlapi Sello that he did not deliberately omit the MOU and claims it was an issue of oversight.
Based on this engagement we've had, would you agree with me that our recommendation to the commissioners is that they should not form a conclusion that you deliberately omitted the Matala MOU?
No, no, no.
It just fell
Yes.
through the cracks.
Matala and the name Anibas Protection Services. No, no,
Yeah.
no.
So
Yes.
when we come back after lunch and we talk about these documents, you'll be able to guide the
No, yes, yes, yes.
EFF MP Sihle Lonzi has laid an executive ethics code complaint with the Office of the Public Protector in Cape Town against Higher Education and Training Minister Buti Manamela. The party also says it will open a perjury complaint against Manamela. The EFF MP says the complaints relate to the minister allegedly lying to Parliament last week. The 2 complaints stem from Manamela's decision to place 3 seaters under administration. One of the seaters has taken the minister to court, challenging his decision on the basis that Manamela never consulted. Lonzi says in an affidavit that Manamela indicated that he personally consulted with the seater, but when he came to Parliament last week, he conceded he only sent an email.
What is clear here at the time was that either the minister was lying to Parliament or the minister was lying to the courts of South Africa, because these 2 versions are mutually exclusive. They can't both be true at the same time. But what we're starting to realize is that actually the minister has lied in his answering affidavit to court, and he ought to be held accountable for that.
Ministers in the Peace and Security Cluster will this afternoon face tough questions from MPs around South Africa's deepening safety and security crisis. The questions range from rising violent crime to failures in border management and growing concerns about intelligence lapses. The cluster faces mounting pressure from MPs to explain how government plans to restore stability in a country where public trust in the state's ability to keep citizens safe continues to erode. And finally, a BBC investigation has revealed more than 2,000 abusive posts on social media were sent about Premier League and Women's Super League players and staff during a single weekend. The messages featured racist slurs and violent and homophobic threats. Chelsea's women's manager is Sonia Bompasta.
The social media companies are not doing their job, not taking again the responsibility and the accountability for that. And I think as a club, we need to support our players in the best way possible. I think if we have to wait for the social media companies to act, I think we can be in this situation for too long.
Recapping the top story, search and recovery teams have discovered two bodies believed to be those of residents who went missing during the floods at New Hanover in the Umshwati local municipality in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands last week. For SFM News, I'm Utsile Sak. We'll be back with headlines at 4:30.
In sports this hour, Proteas 146 for 2 after 23 overs, needing 213 runs to win against India in the second ODI, and Springbok coach Rassie Rasmus welcomes Rugby World Cup draw. More details at 4:30.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, heavy traffic in the Crown City West area and the N3 northbound as roadworks reported, with lane closures approaching Buccleuch interchange. In KZN, the N3 westbound has a stationary truck after Cliffdale, and the M19 westbound in Westville has a crash reported after Mountbatten Drive. In Cape Town, the N7 Jakes Hadwell Drive southbound, queuing towards Voortrekker Road, and Albert Road outbound is slow moving through Woodstock. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
Are we ready for a real conversation? SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Streaming Scheme Sum on the way to class.
Catching the Premier League while waiting for your order.
Jamming to Metro FM before you even get out of bed.
On SABC Plus, sinayo yonke into ifunayo. Your shows, your music, your way, anytime, anywhere. Zero subscription fees.
On your phone, tablet, or smart TV.
Download SABC Plus on iOS or Google Play Store.
The stage, the lights, the crowd, everything's perfect until suddenly someone slips on the dance floor. A speaker lands in the buffet. In an instant, your masterpiece is a mess. That's why Auto & General is there with events liability insurance. We handle the unexpected so you don't have to. Plan the party, wow the guests, leave the rest to us. For more information on events liability insurance, visit autogen.co.za. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
The National Pulse with Ashraf Garda on SAFM. You're listening to the National Pulse, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
So I should have mentioned this yesterday already, but you know, the Oxford Word of the Year was named. Do you know what it is? And if you don't, I'll be angry. And I say this deliberately so because the Oxford Word of the Year 2025 is rage bait. It's a compound of the words rage and bait in a similar way you think about clickbait, okay? But in essence, what it means, it's someone who's very intentional about baiting you, showing rage. And if you think about that, they say it's a word that's really come into its own this year. Have you heard much about it? Rage bait. I've certainly never used it on air, but maybe, just maybe, when we see some people listening or talking at certain commissions or elsewhere, we may just say, hey, there's a good example of rage bait. Maybe in Parliament as a good example too, right? Okay, let's talk about Parliament. And before we get to that, so here's a story, by the way. Musi Maimane and his party, Build One South Africa, had a motion to have the matric pass mark increased from 30 to 50%. It was shot down yesterday by the National Assembly, and he clearly had lots to say. And you could say, is that rage bait? Because was very critical of the vote. But let's try and understand really the story behind it. It's been a a means of jest, in South African society for a long time, like the 30%ers, right? Professor Mary Metcalf is with me, professor of practice at the University of Johannesburg. Prof. Metcalf, good to contact you or connect with you as always. You're on the National Pulse. Hi.
Hi, Ashraf.
Thanks for your time. Let's start with this. Firstly, first of all, are you surprised that the vote was shot down? That means there were enough members of the National Assembly who were not convinced by Musi Maimani's position to up that, what he called the pass rate or the pass mark, from 30 to 50%?
So I'm going to be perhaps a little bit outspoken. I was pleasantly surprised and pleased because I have viewed that this putting a question that is based on false premises into the public political process is a little bit disingenuous. Because the question, as you and I understand, to Parliament was, should the pass rate, the pass mark, be 30% or 50%? Now, if that's the question, I would say everybody listening would say, well, clearly 50% has historically been a pass mark. In fact, the pass mark is not 30%. And to keep on spreading incorrect understanding of policy by saying the pass mark is 30% when it isn't.
So maybe answer that first. So why would a person like Musi Maimani repeatedly, and I'm saying peddle that line, when you actually saying it isn't? Explain.
Okay, so the question is not why he would do it. That's a political question.
Okay, noted. Yeah.
For me, it's an and I've said to him, I don't want to debate you in public media because you're having a political debate. I want to have an educational debate. So I will stay in education. So let's say that the public perception on the basis of this is that you only need 50% to pass matric. Okay, well, that's just completely wrong, and I'll explain. When you write the National Senior Certificate, there's 5 categories of pass. Well, there's 5 categories which you may emerge with. One is failure. Put that aside. Then there's pass the National Senior Certificate, but at a level that is so low that you only can look at career options that don't involve moving to university, to technical universities, etc. It's just you manage to scrape through. You do have in level 4, and you can then choose pathways, but you've done it. That's a small number of learners comes at that level. Bulk of the learners pass in the remaining 3 categories, which is pass, proceed to a diploma, pass, proceed to a certificate course, or pass, you can proceed to a degree. And each of those have different levels of requirements because what we have is an education system which has multiple pathways, and young people should have a sense of, I've done well enough to now proceed to a certificate or diploma or a degree. With any of those 3 routes, none of those 3 routes, and even that you just passed, require only a 30% pass. You cannot go to university and pursue a bachelor degree if you've got 30% passes. You won't be admitted. You don't get proceed to that. You have to pass at a higher level. So the popular appeal that is spread with these kinds of questions is, do we want doctors who only got 30%? Well, you would never be admitted if you only got 30%. You wouldn't get a bachelor entry with 30%. So the question is wrong. Why a politician would do that, I think he may be convinced he's right, but I don't want to make about a person or about politics. I really just want the public to know it's not a 30% pass rate, pass mark.
So
Not
where
a
then
30%
does the
pass
30?
mark.
So but where then does the 30% come from? And this is not a Musi Maimani
because
question. This is a really is
yeah,
a
no,
calculation question.
it's
Yeah.
a good question. It's a good question. So because and this I would argue for passionately as an educationist. For the majority of children who reach grade 12, this is an achievement, and we now need to be able to recognize that this is multiple level performance with different routes. There are there is within just passing the NEC and within the diploma and certificate level qualifications to proceed to a possibility that you only have to pass one or two subjects at 30%. But it isn't the pass mark for everything. And I would support that you need that variation. You need that variation because we need an inclusive final school leaving examination, which all children have the opportunity to find their slot. They all need to be able to recognize. So, Ashraf, the other thing that sometimes people find helpful, I'm not sure how old you are. I think you're closer to my age than to the matriculants. But you remember there used to be higher grade and lower grade.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You, a similar kind of thing. That was a limited differentiation.
And
You
I
either
think
failed
there was also like a
the
practical stream, if I'm not mistaken. You know, there may have been different names at
yeah,
different times. I
that's
mean, that
right.
would be it. Yeah. Okay.
That's right. So we don't need a linear one-track approach to the National Senior Certificate. We must recognize this as a certificate which we want most of the learners in our system to get a sense of achievement and fulfillment. And within that, there's categories.
Okay.
And within that, there's a range of marks.
So currently, there's a perception that when we talk about the National Senior Certificate, everybody's being judged by their academic qualifications and distinctions to get into varsities, as you've alluded to earlier. But whereas what you're saying is, even within an NSC, you actually can have there is 3 tiers, and we need to understand that better. Yeah.
That's right. And we need to build up. In fact, the Minister of Higher Education was very good on this is we need to build public understanding that there's a range of skill and learning opportunities. It's not only about universities. There's multiple pathways. And what we do have now is a national qualification framework that recognizes these pathways so that you link. You can go up in a particular pathway, go laterally, learn something else, accumulate those credits. So for every learner, your credits are accumulated and you can track over your life your progression.
Well, I mean, to end with, let me just quote then the Minister of Basic Education, Siviwe Khwarube, saying this, right? And I quote, it is essential for the public, parents, and teachers and students to hear the facts clearly without distortion. There is no such thing as a 30% overall pass mark in the NSC. And then saying effectively what you just said already, there's a 3-tiered set of subject requirements, which include at least 40% in home language, 40% in the 2 other subjects, and 30% in 3 additional subjects. Now, here's my bottom line, and we'll end with this, right? If that is the case, well, it clearly is the case, right? Why then is, and I'm not talking about Musi Maimani once again, why then is the general narrative contrary to that? That means, how has that been allowed to happen? And we speak about it as if that's a fact and it's going on for a few years. And if that's the case, what needs to change around that narrative?
It's very good that the minister has issued a statement clarifying, but I think that once this becomes politicized, then people will use it as a political football. So I'm going to tell you something that when I, years ago, 1990, that first 5 years, somebody said something to me, a visitor from South America. She said to me, parents and the public need to hear about education and education views from people other than politicians. And that really had an impact on me. And it's one of the reasons that I'm always willing to speak as an educationist. We need more educationists. We need more teacher leaders speaking in the public space rather than it becoming a place where politicians are exploring perspectives
Well, I concur
that,
with you. I
yeah,
mean,
you would think.
I talk about a loaded vote. I mean, I can't expect a cardiologist to comment on the fate of Bafana Bafana and the Bafana coach to comment on cardiology, for example. I think your point is absolutely well made. Professor Mary Metcalf, let's leave it at that. Thank you for your time and for giving off your time and sharing it with us today, Prof. of practice at the University of Joburg, talking about that 30% pass rate, true or not true. In fact, there's a comment. No, we don't. There's some other comments which we'll play later on, but there's other developments taking place in the city of Tshwane, which we're going to get to right after this.
You are listening to the National Pulse with Ashraf Garda.
There's lots of comments around this issue from some people saying they're not convinced by the Prof, and others saying that my money has not done his research. As soon as we get a chance, we will play that. Right. Let's move on to another issue, and that's the goings on in Gauteng, in the city of Tshwane, in Pretoria. The DA has in that region has opened a fraud case against the city's deputy mayor and the finance MMC, that's Eugene Modise, at the Brooklyn police station. So let's find out exactly why, because there are huge implications. It's also been critical of the actual mayor herself. So Lias Brink with me, the DA Tshwane caucus leader and once former mayor too, right? So Lias, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us on the National Pulse.
Great to talk to you, Ashraf.
Thank you. Right, tell me why the fraud case? What's happened?
So an investigative report that has served for the council has found that Eugene Modise, who is the deputy mayor and responsible for the finance portfolio as well, failed to declare official interest in a company doing business with the municipality in the first instance. And the second instance, he did not divest his interest in this company. In terms of the code of conduct for councillors, you are not allowed to benefit from a contract with a service provider if you're a sitting councillor. Modise is not just a sitting councillor, he is the deputy mayor, and as I mentioned, in charge of the finance portfolio. And it's not a simple slip of the memory that he didn't fill in a form. He was actively called on to explain the situation, his relationship with Biotic Protection Services. And he denied that he has still beneficial interest. But the investigation found that that is not the case, that he is not considered, he is not divested. He speaks, he benefits from this contract, which is a complete breach of the law, and yet he is retained not just as deputy mayor, but who has a view of the city's finances.
Okay, so to be clear, you're saying you are honor bound to declare your conflicts or conflicts of interest in this case here, number one. But even if you did or didn't, you still can't benefit anyway. So whether he declared or did not declare it, you still can't benefit as a sitting elected official. And of course, he's in a senior position within the Tshwane Council. Yeah.
You can't, because you have to decide. If you're a councillor, you have to be able to make objective decisions on policy and on other matters that might be in conflict with your business. The city might have to make a policy decision to use fewer stationary guards. And if you currently have a contract with the municipality, as prompted then, and the matter is discussed in the mayoral committee to steer the city away from the use of technology or other things that might mean that your company can invest. And on top of that, if you're honest about it, not representing yourself in a true life, it aggravates the situation. It makes it even worse in this. The contract between Tshwane and Biotic Protection has now been twice without following a competitive bidding process. 70 million rand has already been declared as deregulated under. And why we are saying that there's a potential for fraud here is because clearly Modise misrepresented himself. It wasn't known that he had a beneficial company. And had it not been hiding it, that contract would possibly not have been extended. So that is another element. And just the whole suspicion around the city's conduct and Mayor Nasipi Boya's conduct warrants further investigation.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the mayor in a second. As far as Eugene Modise is concerned, you're saying that so there's been a fraud case that's actually lodged today, right? Has there been a figure put to that in terms of the fraud case?
Well, no, we left it as open-ended as possible because fraud is one possibility. The other possibility, this is a matter to back of is point to visions of the prevention and combating of corrupt activities. We are, at this point, have sufficient grounds to ask that contractors clarity and how Modise came to be in the position that he is must be investigated. Because clearly he is being protected, is not being held accountable. And there are further elements to this relationship which we spot.
Okay, and to be clear, you know, I'm looking at the story around it. It talks about the findings of the Tshwane investigative report. Is that a report from someone in that region, or is that from the actual city?
That is from the city. So I think it's section 15 of the funding of councillors says that if there is a complaint of this nature, it must be investigated within a specific time, and when the report is completed, it must be made public. Now, to make this case even more suspicious, the Speaker has insisted on marking the investigative report into the detail confidential, but we have pointed out to him in several letters that he's not in fact allowed to do so. So, to answer your question, this was a report by the city, and the public protector has also been keeping track of the case. It is not a political party report. It's forensic attorneys on it.
All right, so let the law take its course there. In the meantime, you're also critical of the sitting mayor. Why so?
So Eugene Modise has got two capacities. The one is elected. He can only be removed if he's removed as a councillor, or if there's a motion of no confidence against him. I have tried to bring, but the motion was refused. His other position is member of the Mayoral Committee Finance, and that portfolio includes the departments or divisions that look after revenue, supply chain management, budget of the city. As you know, Tshwane is in a fragile financial position. The city is financial stress. It needs very careful management. And if the incumbent in that position is violation of the law as regards to contracts of the city, he should be removed from that position. And making that decision is entirely within the power and indeed the responsibility of Mayor Nasiti Moya. She's been dodging questions about this. She's been saying, no, the council must decide his fate. But the fact is, the mayoral committee is appointed by the mayor, and the mayor also takes responsibility for the conduct of those MMCs, like the president, for example, takes responsibility for the conduct of ministers. And the fact that she has been protecting him is really a terrible example of the officials and an abject failure of leadership.
Okay, so we'll get a response shortly, in fact, from Action SA as well as the ANC, but there's also now a response from the public. So I want to just put this to you, and you can respond on that.
Good afternoon, Ashraf and your team there, studio here from Victoria. Can you please ask the former mayor, Mrs. Evans, to confirm if the contract that is linked to Mr. Modise was during the years when the was or was acquired by the guy, Mr. Modise, now a what? Yeah, an MMC. Just to get that whether it was running or would for all purposes, Mr. awarded to a particular company. Thank you very much.
Okay, point taken. So let's bring your response to that.
So firstly, the contract itself has not been declared irregular. It's an interesting matter that ought to be investigated, whether it was procured in an The more pertinent issue, the moment he became a councillor, might have been a legitimate person or a person in the city till February 2023. But when he became a councillor, while being a service provider of the state, duty to oppose that. And secondly, had a duty to get rid of his beneficial interest. He had to make a choice, doing business with the council.
Okay, so if he made the
So
choice at that time, it would be fine. Yeah.
It's quite irrelevant when the contract was secured. Keen is to discover whether there were irregularities in the contract. Well, first is the moment he became a politician, should have done certain things which he failed to do, and he's lied about it.
All right, we hear that, but to that question from that member of our National Pulse community, I mean, has the contract been in existence when the DA has been in power? Anyway,
the contract was awarded, to the best of my knowledge, so that DA, as a political party, interfered in the award of the contract. But as I mentioned, Modise became councillor. That's when he divested.
okay, got that. Salias Brink, thanks for giving your side of the story. We'll certainly get the Action essay and the ANC response as well shortly. Salias Brink, former mayor in the city of Tshwane, now DA Tshwane caucus leader. Appreciate your input here on the National Pulse, right? Let's get comment from you on that. Lots of people, besides the Madlanga Commission, they want to talk about this, and you know that a WhatsApp, 30-second WhatsApp will get you on air anytime. 4:30, let's get the news headlines. Here's Utsile Saku.
Thanks, Ashraf. In the headlines, two people have been shot and killed in two separate incidents near the Athlone Magistrates Court this afternoon. The legal team representing NPA head Shamila Batoy before the Ngabinde inquiry in Pretoria has sought to amend the terms of reference, saying a charge of misconduct should be added to the list of charges. And search and recovery teams have discovered two bodies believed to be those of residents who went missing during the floods at New Hanover in the Umshwati local municipality in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands last week. Details at 5 o'clock.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the M2 westbound in central Johannesburg has a crash reported before Heidelberg Road, and the N12 R24 westbound in Bedfordview slow moving on both routes towards Giluli's interchange. In KZN, the N3 westbound has a stationary truck at Key Ridge, and the M19 westbound in Westville has a crash after Mountbatten Drive. In Cape Town, the M5 southbound is slow moving towards Racecourse Road exit, and the N7 Jakes Hadwell Drive southbound in Goodwood queuing towards Voortrekker Road. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
This is SAFM Sports with Tumin Khapeli.
Right, Jimmy, we've got the Proteas on our mind.
Yes, South Africa are currently 196 for 2 after 29 overs. They need 163 in 20 overs to beat India. It's the second ODI between the two nations. Aiden Markram and Matthew Breska are at the crease. And remember, earlier on, India posted 358 for 5 in their 50 overs. Meanwhile, in netball, Spa Proteas head coach Jenny van Dijk has emphasized that she considers the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations in Malawi as a highly competitive and very important tournament. The continent's top nations will battle for supremacy from the 8th to the 14th of December, and both the South African men's team, the Pumas, and the national women's team will be aiming to defend their titles.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here today. It's such a privilege to actually be able to go to the Africa Cup again. It's a real important competition for us as the Spark Proteas. We will be leaving on Friday very early. The players will come into camp the night before, so we'll just sleep over and fly out the next morning. When we get that side, we will have 2 days to prepare, and then we'll start with the Africa Cup on Monday. It will run all the way through to Sunday. Obviously, there's a male and female section, so our Pumas team will be traveling with us, which is also a fantastic opportunity for them. And we're quite excited about going to defend our title at the Africa Cup.
In football, Marumo Gallant's coach Alexandre Lafitte says that he hopes to win his first South African trophy on Saturday against Orlando Pirates in the Carling Knockout Cup final in Polokwane. In just 5 months since joining the Bloemfontein-based club, the Frenchman has reached a major cup final and is possibly 120 minutes from lifting the trophy. And Lafitte says that this would be the best way to honor the club after they took a chance on him as a young coach.
Yeah, for me, I'm very excited. I'm very happy to play this final. But honestly, I'm focused and concentration to help the club and the team to win the trophy. But it's a very important moment for me, for the team, for the club, and for that, I want to respect the Maroon Magellan Saturday, and I hope we win the trophy.
In the meantime, Zimbabwe have suffered yet another injury setback ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations. Walter Musona and Emmanuel July are the latest casualties, with Musona sidelined with a hamstring problem and July nursing a thigh concussion. Then in rugby, Springbok coach Rassie Rasmus has welcomed their Rugby World Cup draw, saying that even though it looks like a favorable draw, they will have to be mentally and physically ready for every match, as they have been drawn in Pool B, where they'll play against Italy, Georgia, and Romania. And the tournament will feature 24 teams for the first time and will see 16 teams go through to the knockout stages. Then Lot JD Sherling says that the Stormers must quickly park their impressive URC win over Munster as attention shifts to the EPCR Champions Cup, where they open their campaign against Bayern in France on Friday.
Definitely gonna be something different, like a whole new competition. But yeah, we're looking forward to this massive challenge. And it's a short turnaround this week. Obviously, it's a Friday game, so we have to move on quickly from Munster and focus on this Friday.
Ending things off with golf, Rory McIlroy is back in Australia for the first time in 11 years, chasing a second Stonehaven Cup at the Australian Open in Royal Melbourne. The Masters champion has already declared 2025 his career-defining year with victories at the Augusta, the Players' Championship, Pebble Beach, and the Irish Open, plus Ryder Cup glory. Now, the world number 2 wants to finish the season in style on Australian soil. I'll have more on other sports in the next hour.
Okay, and by the way, I'm just going to tease ahead to Friday. So we have the World Cup draw on Friday, right?
Yeah.
FIFA World Cup draw.
Yes, FIFA World Cup
Was
draw.
it 6 p.m. or 7 p.m.? What's it? Sometime like that.
I think, yeah, I think it's 6.
Oh my goodness.
Looking
Let's
forward
see.
to
We're in
it.
pot 3, I believe.
Yes, we are in pot 3.
Okay, but there's a big debate about maybe when we have time, we'll talk about it.
And it's actually a star-studded draw. I saw one of the presenters is going to be Kevin Hart, so they're just doing it in style.
Can we talk about it for the next hour or 5:30?
We will.
Well, it has to be 5:30 for the next hour. Yeah, do that.
As the year winds down, SAFM wishes you and your loved ones a safe, joyful, and truly wonderful festive season. Whether you're traveling, celebrating, or taking time to rest, stay tuned for the stories, the conversations, and the moments that keep us connected. From all of us at SAFM, thank you for making us part of your journey. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. SAFM has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that is not harmful, does not amount to hate speech, or contain violence or explicit sex. If you think we are not living up to that code, then you can inform the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Direct any complaints in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa, PO Box 142365, Craig Hall 2024. Fax to 011-326-3198 or an email to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more information, please visit www.bccsa.co.za.
Economic news on SAFM. Facts and figures you can count on.
And as always, the person who delivers those facts and figures is Makwe Masilela from Makwe Fund Managers. You've got news, Makwe, about Nedbank. Tell me about it.
Yes, that is a voluntary trading statement. Afternoon to you, the listeners. The guys have said there's been modest economic growth and geopolitical uncertainty, including uncertainty around the impact of US tariffs
led to muted transactional activity and further delays in capital investment in businesses. But a further decline in interest rates will probably improve household credit demand recovery and profit growth will be driven by higher levels of net interest income and non-interest revenue plus a lower impairment charges. And Ashraf, we started a session with traders whether in the private economic data due today, and they said that will probably underscore expectations for a U.S. that next week. Markets have been rallying as Fed remarks, and the expected appointment of the Fed in favoring easing policy lifted Fed cuts that will come faster than previously anticipated, and the UK may extend a $1 billion debt guarantee to help us with our transition to greener economy as well without any load, and oil prices rises as Moscow peace talks fail to reach a breakthrough, and that breakthrough could have eased sanctions when it comes to Russia's oil sector, and Brent crude is up at $56 a barrel. Yellow metal draws support from the weaker dollar, waiting for rate position, and gold is up 24,085, platinum up 0.2% at 1,624. Traders keep wood up with stocks struggling for momentum with the local cost at 0.6%. As our financials are doing most of the heavy lifting, and the rand is flat against the dollar 70.8, 22.72 against the pound, and 19.93 against the euro.
Right, thanks for that, Marque. We'll do it again tomorrow. But of course, Jimmy Moyaha comes in from 6 to 7 to get a real deep dive into the markets for a full hour. So best you tune in for that.
Ashraf Garda is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio.
Okay, so having had a conversation with Cilliers Brink from the DA, let me invite you firstly to add your own thoughts. I mean, you're very much part of this National Pulse community, so let me hear what you have to say. And you can WhatsApp us immediately. Call if we can get a chance, 086 0002032, but WhatsApp, it's 0614 104 107, and you can tweet right away, hashtag the National Pulse. Just what your thoughts on that are. If you want to extend that to the General Madlanga Commission, that's completely understandable too. And just by the way, on that Bafana story for the World Cup draw, unlike the football, the rugby draw, which honestly speaking is less important because how can the Boks not qualify for the next stage anyway of the Rugby World Cup? Feel free to comment about that potential Bafana draw in terms of who they may meet on when that World Cup draw takes place on Friday. Okay, so let's talk about, we had a conversation early on with Cilliers Brink, who gave his thoughts and confirmed they've opened a fraud case against the city's deputy mayor and the finance MMC, Eugene Modise, right? There's also been criticism of the mayor of the city of Tshwane. Anyway, so let's do this. Let's get to Michael Beaumont in the Action SA's national chairperson. Of course, they would speak in the position of their mayor. Michael, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us. Michael, do I have you there?
Yeah, not disrupting the laws. Available.
Much appreciated. Let's then talk about. Okay, you've obviously known now there's been a fraud case against the deputy mayor of the city of Tshwane, and of course the DA has also been critical of the incumbent mayor. What's your position from Action SA on this?
Well, let me be clear, Ashraf. We do not speak for the ANC. We're very critical of the ANC, and that's why we're on record on a number of matters in this regard. But this matter's got nothing to do with fraud. It's got nothing to do with any criminal charge. It's got to do with a forensic investigation that was initiated by the current mayor, order, and was brought to council by the current government again understood. Starting a forensic investigation claims the deputy mayor did not fulfill all of the expectations upon him in law in terms of his declarations of financial asset property. There's nothing to do with fraud. There's nothing to do with corruption. All of those allegations are proven, for instance. And according to the rules of council, a process has been initiated by this current government to address it as a disciplinary matter under law. It's very difficult, therefore, to see what it is the current government should be doing that it isn't doing. But what is quite easy to see is that this is yet again another attempt by the DA and Tobias Brink to try and deflect from a colossal legacy of failure in the climate, creating an impression that government.
Well, I mean that in fact is the allegation, right? That the mayor, who is a mayor from your political party, has in fact looked the other way. And you saying, just so that we're very clear about it, you saying this entire investigation was initiated by the incumbent mayor. Yeah.
By the incumbent mayor and taken to council by the incumbent speaker. So all of these actions are taking place by the current government. And what must be understood is that what we are dealing with is not a criminal offence in code of conduct. The public representatives at all levels of government must declare their finances. It is being taken to council, and those processes are now taking its course and are expected in the new year. The point is that there is nothing more that the current mayor or government could be doing on this matter unless they were to operate outside of the law.
Okay, so Lears Brink made the point that that the person in question not only did not declare an interest, and therefore this code of conduct you talked about, but then also benefited from it, and therefore that would constitute something fraudulent, because that a certainly a higher-ranking council in this case should not only not declare their interest, but also not benefit from it. I mean, would you concur with that?
No, I wouldn't. In fact, the forensic investigation was only able to conclude that rental payments, properties owned by the mayor. In other words, there is no claim that the mayor has never been in contract with the supervision of that investment. Once again, what this represents is the Lears Brink trying to create enough that these trying to steer the image of busy around the legacy failure that he is party in.
So let's then talk about the code of conduct, and therefore your thoughts on the conduct of Eugene Modise. What do you feel about it?
Well, the conduct is now the subject of the council process. What would actually be very important is allow council to have these engagements without the kind of processes and remarks of Spears Brink others. I'm not going to venture in on it now. It's the job of the council to complete. We have our opinions. When that report comes to council, we will ventilate in that time. But our point of view is the process has been satisfied. We would be undermining our own mayor if we were to public while due process is followed. Here's what I'm saying. Just a demonstration of how far they are willing to go to undermine the government and the message.
Well, listen, so many of our conversations we have with different political parties appears to be about political party point scoring. And I'm not saying you're doing it, but I'm just saying that's a narrative that we hear just about every single day. Let me end with this just to confirm them. So you can confirm that outside the code of conduct, that if anybody put forward a charge of fraud against the deputy mayor, that would be incorrect, because that's not what is being questioned for.
What I'm saying to you is the forensic investigation that they are referring to makes no substantiation of it. Correct.
Okay, that's where we will leave it. Michael Beaumont, the Action SA's national chairperson. Thank you for that. So that's take 2 on that issue. In fact, we're going to have a take 3 today. It's like our very own, call it the National Pulse Commission, I suppose, outside the Madlanga Commission. We've had Lears Brink. We've had now Michael Beaumont. And by the way, we'll have podcasts of all those conversations up and running as well pretty shortly. So if you don't tweet it out, go to the website, safm.co.za. We'll get the ANC Tshwane spokesperson to comment as well shortly.
This week on BBC Primetime, watching TV could make you a winner. It's the BBC Primetime Watch and Win competition. Just tune into your BBC Primetime shows, answer a few simple questions on S3's TikTok account, and you could walk away with awesome prizes. From thrilling dramas to jaw-dropping reality shows, the more you watch, the more chances you have to win. Watch, answer, win. Only on BBC Primetime. Airs weeknights 9 to 11 p.m. on S3. Your couch just became the best seat in the game. Yes.
If your bank makes you wait for business hours to call them, then wait on hold during those business hours, you should take a second to ask why they even have your business. Join Discovery Bank to have SA's best bank for client service, available 24/7. For service exactly like no other bank. Discovery Bank is a licensed FSP and Ask Africa's Best Banking Service winner.
X at SFM Radio and at Ashraf Garda.
Okay, we'll take some of your comments as soon as we can, but let's take three on this issue. And now with me on the same issue is the ANC Tswana spokesperson, Bafuze Yabo. Thank you for your time and much appreciate, excuse me, you joining us here on the National Pulse.
Thank you for having me, Ashraf.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to you all listeners.
All right, you are aware that the DA has filed this charge of fraud against the deputy mayor of the city of Tshwane. What's your thoughts on that?
Look, Ashraf, we have been made aware of the DA having gone through scope case of fraud against the deputy mayor who is the ANC. I thought that there is a process that has started and it's still in motion. And the court terminated when inquiry that was made on the affairs of the Mr. to his business dealings and all of that. And the process having been exhausted, people getting a report, the report is getting over anything about corruption or fraud. But until he has a report, until then decided we're going to have an ad hoc committee. The ad hoc committee will be multi. The DA will be part of the committee to be able to ventilate the issues in that committee themselves. And you would know that there's a lot of sensationalism that can be drawn from the headline that reads ANC man spawn, ANC man criminalized. There's a lot of sensationalism that would come out of such a headline. So the DA is making a play on such sensationalism that comes out of the association of the ANC with certain for certain wrong behavior. Even when none exists, and I think the process is underway. And they could have just for the committee to go into work, where there will be also partaking. And thereafter, any sanction that comes out of it will then be an accurate.
Okay. So you think they jumped the gun?
They're playing to the gallery of stuff. It's typical of the DA to draw attention to show that at times frivolous. And we are saying they take very seriously the project of renewal and ensuring that we maintain or we intend to the moral compass that we are known for. And people take advantage of the fact that we are in a period of renewal and that we want to just write headlines to say the influence behavior. When
okay, let's then move on to the issue as the ANC sees it. What is your understanding as to what actually has happened with the deputy mayor Eugene Modise, and where does the ANC then stand on this?
The question to be answered here is ethics. That is a on part. We are saying if you have a criminal case on this matter, why then bring it to council first? Because there is a criminal case. First, the police station. You the police. You don't bring a matter to police, and then once they report a forensic report alive, then you then say when that will happen. And I would say what of that led also do leadership. But all that you make it a criminal matter. When you put a statistic we are saying we will await like all other parties involved in the
all right, I hear you, but so let the process then continue. But on the principle, If a person who's an elected councillor does not declare an interest in another organization that does business, well, first of all, declare an interest in that organization anyway, or company, as a sitting councillor, would you agree that that is incorrect?
Look, Ashraf, I wouldn't want to be technical about this matter because if I was to be technical, I would have been to pinpoint dates, times, and details. I would argue and say, let this would have issued, he would have resigned from company but he and so the the election not relates to benefit full intention is that on on the points of sex that is being provided, even the forensic report itself, not in of corruption out of it. I'm saying that the report is different. And you would say that the whole not and once they get that
Okay, but I mean, therefore, the principle, I'm just being clear about that the principle, without even looking at the person in question, the principle that an elected councillor needs to declare an interest in other organizations or companies and perhaps even step down if there's financial interest in that. Is that correct? Or maybe just educate us on this.
If I'm to answer this and without referring to another leader being fair to this is in all respect and and going to by community already the comment is take matter of general principle because the ad hoc committee they will get to the bottom of it, make a determination on whether the time that this issue is raised was him is benefiting or not. This whole thing.
Okay.
To ensure that we know that would not be the risk because it came out and said no fraud, no corruption.
All right.
Committee will exhaust the matter and see
Okay, just
will be there in that committee.
just the last thing. What is the Deputy Mayor Eugene Modise? What is he pronounced on this issue anyway that you can share with us?
I think his pronouncement there look up and to listen to what he would have said. And yeah, with the deal going on the chief police, yeah, a them that's what they are saying. They are taking something that and this is key for them to do a dress code in this.
Okay.
The Court of will deal with transgression and will pronounce on whatever sanction that they decide on. Okay. It will be part.
All right.
They will pronounce on that themselves.
Okay, got that. Thanks for that. Let's see what happens and who pronounces what. But in essence, what you're saying, it's a hospital case, but not a mortuary case. Bafuze Yabo, the ANC Tshwane spokesperson, reflecting on now fraud charges being laid against the councillor, ANC councillor Eugene Modise, who's also the deputy mayor of the city of Tshwane. Much appreciate your time on this issue, and I welcome comments from people. In fact, here's a couple of WhatsApp comments that I can pick up on the same issue in a moment.
Good afternoon, Ashraf. ANC leaders, so ANC comrades will never change. You can hear the tone from that guy defending the deputy mayor of Tshwane. Even a layman like myself, I'm not a politician, but I know that if you are an employee of government, you can't do business with government. It's a conflict of interest. Obviously, you have advantage than someone who's not working there. You can influence it, the situation to get some tender. But you can hear the voice of that guy is defending his colleague, his comrade. South Africa. ANC will never change. Notorious Mabilan in Stagula village Akonu.
Then your name is notorious. I mean, it's just, oh my goodness, we need to set higher.
Hi, good afternoon, Ashraf and SCFM listeners. You know, Ashraf, I think Australia's Brink is taking us for a ride. What we need to understand is that when did the gentleman become a councillor? Because if he was a councillor at the time when the contract was awarded under the DA, then the DA must also explain.
Okay, and here's the last one on that same issue.
Hi, Ashraf. Louis from Pretoria. You know, Ashraf, in the location, a criminal is a hustler. But when you go to the suburban area, they report criminality. When they see a criminal, they report to the authorities. In the location, they worship. Same like this guy who's asking a question that Mudise got his tender during the DA or the ANC. It is irrelevant.
Okay, I wonder. Right, you've got different sides on that. You have your own opinion on that, I'm sure about it. By the way, we're going to talk about a fascinating conversation about the potential merger between Anglo-American and Tech Resources, and we'll get to Duma Obule to give us his thoughts on that. Don't miss it. Comes up after the news at 5. Right now, it's 5 o'clock. Time for the news.
Thanks, Ashraf. Top stories at 5. 2 people killed near Cape Town court, and Macron visits China with Ukraine on the agenda. Good afternoon. 2 people have been shot and killed in 2 separate incidents near the Athlone Magistrates Court this afternoon. Police say a 32-year-old man was fatally wounded while sitting in a car outside the court. Police spokesperson FC Van Wyk says minutes later another shooting occurred nearby.
Another male, aged 31, was shot and killed about 300 meters away from court in Q-Town area. The suspect or suspects fled the scene in an unknown direction. The motive for these attacks forms part of our police investigations. Anyone with information about these fatal shooting incidents is kindly requested to contact Crime Stop on 08600 10111.
The Community Policing Forum in Mitchell's Plain in Cape Town has called on President Cyril Ramaphosa to classify gun and gang violence on the Cape Flats a national disaster. 3 people, including a 9-year-old boy, were gunned down last night in Rocklands. Police say 4 assailants entered the victim's house and opened fire. 2 other people were wounded in the attack. Police have launched a manhunt for the suspects. Linda Jones is the CPF spokesperson in Mitchell's Plain.
A disaster when it comes to crime, when it comes to gangsterism. They must put the emphasis that gangsterism will not be tolerated anymore. And they must put emphasis on it that anyone who forms part of the gangs will be part of the poker law. They will be sentenced under the poker law.
The legal team representing NPA head Shamila Batoy, before the Nkambinde inquiry in Pretoria, has sought to amend the terms of reference, saying a charge of misconduct should be added to the list of charges. The inquiry, which is led by retired Judge Bess Nkambinde, is probing suspended South Gauteng Director of Public Prosecutions Advocate Andrew Chauke's fitness to hold office. Chauke was suspended in July this year after Batoy complained to President Cyril Ramaphosa. Judge Nkambinde has advised Batoy's legal team to approach the presidency if they wish to have the terms of reference amended. Search and recovery teams have discovered 2 bodies believed to be those of residents who went missing during the floods at New Hanover in the Umshwati local municipality in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands last week. 3 people were reported missing when a river swept away an informal settlement. The body of the first victim, a woman, was discovered the day after the incident. Spokesperson for the Provincial Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs is Senzelo Mzila.
The discovery of these bodies follows concerted efforts by communities working together with search and rescue teams following the tragic incident that occurred on 23 November, where severe thunderstorms brought about heavy rains which caused flooding. This discovery puts to an end a painful chapter within the community, as now the processes of identification can commence.
Finally, further afield, French President Emmanuel Macron has arrived in Beijing for an official visit that will also take him to the city of Chengdu. He's expected to urge his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping to do more to end Russia's war in Ukraine. Chinese economic support is vital to Russia's war effort. The BBC's Stephen McDonnell has the details.
Russia relies on economic backing from Beijing, which has been accused of offering hidden support for Vladimir Putin's invasion. So the Chinese government is thought to be crucial in convincing Russia's leader to back down. While Emmanuel Macron is here, discussions are also likely to revolve around trade tensions.
Recapping the top story, 2 people have been shot and killed in 2 separate incidents near the Athlone Magistrates Court this afternoon. For SAFM News, I am Utsile Saku. Headlines at 5:30.
In sports, Proteas need 133 runs and 90 balls to win against India in the second ODI, and Springboks drawn in same pool as Italy for 2027 Rugby World Cup. More details at 5:30.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the M1 southbound in Sandton has a crash at Grayston Drive. The R21 northbound in Clayville, roadworks with lane closures for sinkhole repair works at Olifantsfontein Road. And the N3 northbound has roadworks with lane closures approaching Buccleuch interchange. In KZN, the N3 southbound in Moirefeed is where truck crashes reported near Hidcote interchange. The N3 eastbound queuing towards Ashburton, and the M13 westbound in Pinetown slow moving on Fields Hill. In Cape Town, the N2 outbound has a stationary vehicle before the R300 interchange. The N1 outbound, a stationary vehicle after Durban Road, and slow moving traffic leaving the waterfront area towards the CBD. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
SAFM, prime time all day long. As the year winds down, SAFM wishes you and your loved ones a safe, joyful, and truly wonderful festive season. Whether you're traveling, celebrating, or taking time to rest, stay tuned for the stories, the conversations, and the moments that keep us connected. From all of us at SAFM, thank you for making us part of your journey. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. The National Pulse with Ashraf Garda on SAFM. You're listening to the National Pulse, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
Right. What about, in fact, we'll be chatting to Duma Kobule just now about this merger between Tech Resources and Anglo American coming up just now. But for now, we've spoken about the Madlanga Commission. We've spoken about the issue of the 30% pass mark that Musi Maimani put to Parliament and was shot down. We've also now speaking about the deputy mayor of the city of Tshwane now being charged with fraud by the DA. What do you make of all those things and anything else, including the word of the year, right? Do you remember what I asked you? What the word of the year was? Do you? If you don't, I'll tell you about it just now. Here's some comments from you.
Hi, Ashraf. You're speaking to T from Escort. You see, we've got a problem with these politicians, like my money. If my money was, you have done the research before you coming to the, before you talking what you took, he will understand that we're coming from a previous education setup which used to have the lower and standard and high grade. So I think they missed the point, because even lower grade was emphasizing the 30% of pass rate, and right now it's just a matter of changing the names of this current setup.
Okay, that's one, and there's more linked to the same issue.
Afternoon, Ashraf, is Hamilton here. This stance by Musimaimane and the company is an political name-making stance. He is trying to make name for himself. He's trying to make the public and and everyone to talk about him. So he gets known. The thing is, colleges and universities have a minimum entry requirements, which are way above 30%. So they're trying to make name for themselves.
Okay, and here's another.
Afternoon, Ashraf. You know, they refused what Musa Maimani was proposing. It was a good idea that could bring the standard of education in South Africa to be valuable. As you can see, our standard of education is so low compared to some other country. And at the same time, it affects this unemployment which you are talking about. It's going to be so many people having degrees, but they are unemployable because the standard of their knowledge is so limited and is low. Jacob from Chemiston.
Okay, interesting. I mean, you see, the minister, in fact, said that the real issue in terms of transformation of our education system has got to come to grassroots. So that's where the real problems um, lie, not anywhere else. When you talk about the 30%ers.
Good afternoon, Ashraf. Ashraf Matabu. Ashraf, I think Musima Mani wants to score points unnecessarily. And reading the mind of Musima Imani, he is this type of a person who's brainwashed. He doesn't look at the broader picture of the black people in the land. He is only one-sided, and that kills his mind. And whatever facts he may have about other issues, with this type of a loss of a case, it means he is no longer going to be taken serious. Thank you, Via Donkey.
Okay. How do you say he only looks at one? How do you know that? That's what he does. Does he do, is that what comes across in terms of how he pronounces on certain things? I'm just very interested. There's more of that. Oh,
Good afternoon, Ashraf. Yeah, interesting listening to your guest and then also what Musim Raimani is saying. But the big question is make it easy for people to understand. What is the pass mark for each of those 5 categories? Then we will understand. Simply put, don't confuse it with a certificate, with a diploma, or whatever it is. What is the pass mark of each of those bands? Mark from Cape Town.
Well, Mark, I agree with you. I mean, I think that's the point that I was making. That then why is it that it's been peddled incorrectly? Because we just don't. So the narrative communicated is incorrect. So what should it take to get a communications, company advisor giving input into them to say, hold it, you need to sell this thing so that we all get it and very, very easily. And if they don't for that many years, and there's a problem with that. So something has to happen there too.
Gore, I don't know why Musi is really stubbornly insisting on the pass rate of 30% because it's not true. And anybody who is entertaining him doesn't really understand. Sometimes you remember, and I'll talk about that argument that never argue with the F because people may not notice the difference. Because it's not like university students admitted to do medicine, engineering, accounting, and many other top range with the 30%. No, they cannot be. 30% is the people who want to do, who want to work at ShopRite with metric only. There are people who will do 1 year certificate or 2 year certificate. But then we got a bunch of people who will do the university diploma, national diploma at a pass rate. Some people have even 2, 3 distinction, but they cannot be admitted at varsity because the competition is so high. I don't know why somebody need to really entertain Musi. Let him show us his metric. Maybe to do theology, you don't need 5 distinctions.
Well, I mean, I think, but maybe that's the point, that it needs to be very clear to say, if you want to get into university at a certain level, that's the pass rate. If you want to get into something else, that's the pass rate. If you want to get into this level, you need that. And that needs to be very, very clear. And the fact that we're still debating it now means it doesn't mean I'm right and wrong. It just means that we, as the public, and certainly this SAFM community, we're not clear about it either. That's why there's still that much confusion. That's why Musi Maimane can take it to Parliament, although many people believe he's right, or maybe he's not. Right? Let's get another thought on that with Maria in Rebecca. Hi, Maria.
Oh, listen, Ashraf, all I want to say is I sincerely hope that they are going to raise the standard of education to 50%. Because I don't know how many of all these matriculants, supposed to be matriculants with a 50% pass, they are just, I don't know what to say, ignorant, because they don't understand anything. You've got to repeat everything you say to them, but nevertheless. And then secondly, I do think that, what is the commissioner's name now? One that's opened the can of worms about the MK
The
party and
lieutenant, yeah. Okay, what's your point there? Yeah.
that they will give him some reward or some award for coming forward and acting as a gentleman.
All right.
In
Let
connection with
that take its course. I mean, it's a bit early days. Many people are saying so and so for president. It's a bit early days. Let's see. I mean, Maria, just on your point, I hope you listened to what Mary Metcalf had to say about it. And in essence, what you're saying is nobody has ever suggested that you can get into university with a 30% pass mark. Absolutely not. In fact, you can't get into medicine with a 90% pass mark. I can assure you of that, right? It's incredibly difficult. But there are different levels. I think what has not been communicated is the different levels of a matric as it stands now. And that's where the problem is. And the fact is, there's always going to be space for people passing matric at a lower level versus a medium level versus a higher level. That's really what it is. Maria, thank you for that, right? But listen, welcome the thoughts, and there are really very, very varying opinions on this. And here's another one on the same issue.
Good afternoon, Ashraf. I believe Musi Maimane is very right what he's saying. Just to look, for example, compare the education system in Zimbabwe and the one for South Africa. In Zimbabwe, pass rate is 50%. And whenever someone reaches 50%, they are able to go to do certificate, diploma, and that makes them very much qualified. That's why you see most executives that are coming into South Africa from Zimbabwe, they are holding very senior posts. Why? Because in Zim, there's no 30% pass rate. If you take a student from Zimbabwe who and comes to learn here, they will be aiming at is above 50%. So when you set a limit of 30%, it makes students not to have any hunger to do much, because they know they can only get 30%.
Well, you see, in the past, there was, thanks for that, Elijah. In the past, there was this thing called junior certificate. I mean, is there a scope for that to say, let's have a 3-tiered matric? In fact, there probably is already, just that we just don't talk about it that way. That means all passes, but they pass at different levels. And there's maybe nothing wrong on that, right? Okay, there's there's just so many people talking about the matric stories regarding Musi Maimane. I'm quite amazed. Can't ignore it.
Good afternoon, Ashraf. I think my man and company did not do their research properly. You know what needs to be changed in our South African education is the weighting of the SBA and the exam. The weighting of the SBA from grade 8 to grade 11 must be changed so that it is the same as that of grade 12, where the school-based assessment has the weighting of 25%, has the weighting of 25%, and the exam has the weighting of 75%. In grade 10 and 11, the weighting of school-based assessment is 60%, and the exam weighting is 40%. In grade 8 and 9, the weighting for the exam is only 30%, and the weighting for the school-based assessment is 70%. That means it is very easy for the learner to pass between in grade 8, 9, 10, and 11, and then they struggle in grade 12.
Okay.
I'm Bafana Kumalo in Memel.
Thanks for that, Bafana. Right, and there's more. So let's then just talk about other thoughts regarding the issues of of what's happening in the city of Tshwane as well, right?
Hi, Ashraf. I've learned to take everything that the DA says with a pinch of salt. By the way, I'm not a member of any political party, just a citizen of Gauteng. But I found that most of the time they're just alarmists. Until you hear the other side of the story, I think I've learned to take it with a pinch of salt. This the shadow MEC of health in Gauteng last week said that people in the hospital are eating one slice of bread with cheese for lunch. They don't have lunch until we heard from a MEC of health that actually that's just a 4 o'clock snack. People have already been given lunch, and it was such a big thing. Everybody was commenting. So even what Silas Brink is saying now, I'm taking it with a pinch of salt until I hear the other side of the story. I'm not saying it's not true, but I've learned not to put my heart in it anymore.
Okay, but you're not saying it's not true, but yet because it's the DA, you're not convinced because they are by their nature alarmist. Interesting how I'm not saying you're wrong, but just how it's perceived. Okay, right. Quick call. We get to Stimbele in Flagstaff. Hello.
Hello, Ashraf.
Yeah, how's it, man? Go for it.
Ashraf, I do believe that if it wasn't those, corrupt political officials, South Africa would have been able to create or reduce the high rate of unemployment. I'm saying this because I would like to take on this on the issue made by this very South Africa and Zimbabwe.
All right, we're on to a break. Quick, one quick point, if you don't mind. I'm sorry, I'm out of time. Yeah.
Yes. So it doesn't work for Zimbabwe. Even if it's 50%, 50% or 50%, but it doesn't work for Zimbabwe compared to South Africa. South Africa, even if it is so, it is able to create whatever job opportunities. It's the most better country in Africa.
Okay.
So I believe that almost my money is incorrect to say because South Africans can work within our country.
All right. I'm going to have to leave it at that because we're on to a break. Stimbele in Flagstaff. This is the National Pulse. More thoughts, more comments from you. I look forward to that next.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. Easy to apply, no medical examinations, and no paperwork. SMS SAFM to 48031. That's 48031. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The Eastern Cape MEC for Finance, Mlungisi Mvogo, will on 4 December 2025 table the medium-term budget policy statement. He will outline adjustments to the 2025-2026 budget and highlight key policy priorities for the medium term. Follow MEC Mlungisi Mvogo and the Eastern Cape Provincial Treasury on Facebook for further details.
Ashraf Garda is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio.
Come on, let's have further comments from you about because you move the pulse. You're on the pulse. I want to hear from you, and we'll take more calls and comments as soon as we get a chance, just after we do the sport and finance. So looking forward to that, right? Of course, today we've had less of the Madlanga Commission. We've certainly had it in the earlier part, but you can comment on that too. But there's been lots of other things happening. So let's talk about this, right? The lobby group, Amandla Mobi, right? Or Amandla Dot Mobi, if I've got that right, has once again pleaded with Parliament to support its arguments for increasing taxes on the wealthy. Why are they saying so? They are of the view that increasing taxes for the ultra rich is essential to bridge South Africa's growing inequality gap. Okay, let's play this out with Klo Siopa, the senior campaigner at Amandla.mobi. Klo, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for your listeners.
Thank you. Are you one of that ultra rich as well? Just checking.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Just checking. You never know, right? All right. Give me the thrust of your argument. I mean, you've heard my intro, but I mean, tell me more, because you need to get the balance right, I suppose, always to ensure that there's the some people get taxed, but as many as possible, but you still need to ensure that that the workplace is sustainable and people are incentivized to want to be in those spaces. So tell me more.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's just mortality. Looking at about 10% of our population on what for the world in the country. When we have millions people people who cannot afford to and sometimes payment for people that don't know money, to allocate more budget for people like health, education, and social protection. Whereas there are multi-million countries who aren't being properly checked. So we think that national treatment needs to double down, keep checking wealth and control the risk, how enough money is raised for public services so people are able to access essential services for themselves.
You don't think they are being taxed already anyway?
So here's the thing, right? There's talks about people being overtaxed. The question is, are the right people being taxed, right? Rich people who are able to hire someone to move money around so they can be taxed. That's what we. This is why entities like the NPA and SARS need to be capacitated to be able to this work so the right people are being taxed. Having this is because the right people aren't being taxed, and you this is people are being taxed more. They have to spend more money on essentials that rich people don't even need to do.
So
They spend
how
money
do
on
you so when you say the right people must be taxed, I mean, give me an example of who's the right people versus the wrong people.
So we're looking at the multimillionaires, what thousands big companies, lots of profit, looking at a couple and big companies that I will not name that are making more and more profit, right? So these are affordable. So these are people mentioned and so on and so on. These are people that need to be more.
All right, but now when you say more, what's your understanding of how much are they being taxed right now and how much more? So we need to deal with the data here.
Yes. Yes. So based on research and experts, we're looking at more taxes ranging from 3% to 9%, and this ranges between people with personal wealth, people who have inherited wealth, companies that are making profit. Yeah, this is what millionaires are earning over 3 million per annum to get taxed. Yes, so between 3 and 9%.
Now I mean, you could talk about personal wealth or even company wealth or company taxes. Many of the big companies, they could then divest and then work offshore where there's less taxes in those countries. I mean, it's a legal way of doing it, right? Isn't that the problem that to what degree in your efforts to ensure that the cake is bigger, all this at the moment is about taxing as opposed to maybe re-looking at how our budgets work? Meaning, how do you not run the risk of de-incentivizing people to have a stake in South Africa, which is a global problem, by the way?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So first of all, let me just state that our government isn't the only one that's talking about, taxing the rich. There are other countries that are doing it in one way or the other. So if people feel that they need to do extra trying to avoid tax, more going. So that's fine. So what we're saying is, in order to double down, I know a lot of people are correct. This is one entity like like a capacity to to this wealth, and so that we are, or, sit sure that all these pay of tax.
What about and again, I mean, I've made the point about de-incentivizing. So I mean that's been made. But what about the other, which is the real issue is you can't. There's a certain level beyond which if you overtax people, then they just lose hope in the system on the one hand, and on the other hand, I get your point about overtaxing those who are poor. But isn't the real issue in South Africa not that, but the real issue? There's been a lot of money where there's been people have been taxed, rich and poor in different proportions, but a lot of money once they've been taxed then that money has been squandered. That really is the issue.
Yes. So I think one thing that tends to be confused talking about taxing people more. We're not talking about any talking about right? About the people who have the in their hands, right? If we are worried that um this could be money could be but we go on and on, then this is time, to double down on the first to ensure that should rich people be taking money is allocated to the right people, so on.
But that could be the
So
case even if they're not being taxable. We could still do that because you're already saying the doctors are being overtaxed.
yes, we can still do that. It doesn't mean that the rich people cannot be taxed more. They should be taxed more. Listen, so if we are going to talk about the investigation of taxes, then let's the we talk about we could like see for everyone, everyone, right? Because people are now able to so on.
Okay, that's where we can leave it. I promise you there'll be a response on this. People will have their own views on it. So thanks for setting the agenda. Tlo Siopa, the senior campaigner for Amandla.mobi, right? Amandla.mobi, like Mobi is in mobile. Much appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us here on the National Pulse. Let's get the news headlines. Here's Utsile.
Thanks, Ashraf. In the headlines, the Daniel Scale Regional Court in the Northern Cape has sentenced a 25-year-old man to 18 years in prison for raping a number of girls between 2019 and 2020. Two people have been shot and killed in two separate incidents near the Athlone Magistrates Court in Cape Town this afternoon. And suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Commissioner Julius Mkhwanazi has accused the former Deputy Police Chief Revo Spies of submitting a forged operational plan to the Madlanga Commission in Pretoria. Details at 6 o'clock.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the N14 southbound in Centurion has flooding reported towards Brakfontein interchange, so approach with caution. Grayston Drive eastbound in Sandton is queuing towards the M1 highway, and Summit Road in Midrand has flooding reported at Savannah Hills, and approach with caution there as well. In KZN, the N3 southbound in Moirefeer has a truck crash reported near Headcote Interchange, and the N3 westbound a stationary truck at Key Ridge. In Cape Town, the N1 Service Road outbound is slow moving towards the N7 highway. Stellenbosch Arterial Road in Kells River is slow moving at Nooiensfontein Road, and Main Road outbound in Observatory slow moving towards the N2 highway. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
This is SAFM Sports with Tuming Kapele.
Right, Tumi, you have your eye on South Africa's cricketers, right?
Yes, the Proteas are 268 or 269 rather now for three with Matthew Breska and Devil Brevis at the crease. They need 90 runs and 63 balls to win the second ODI against India. Just earlier on, India posted 358 for 5 in the 50 overs. Meanwhile, Springbok coach Rassie Rasmus has welcomed their Rugby World Cup draw, saying that even though it looks like a favorable draw, they will have to be mentally and physically ready for every single match. SA have been drawn in Pool B, where they will play against Italy, Georgia, and Romania. And the tournament will feature 24 teams for the first time, and we'll see 16 teams go through to the knockout stages. Then, in terms of Athletics South Africa, road running chairperson Enoch Kosana says that he will embark on a nationwide search to identify fresh talent to address the growing gap in both the men's and women's marathon divisions next year. Athletics SA faced an embarrassing situation when Elroy Holland was the only marathon runner who represented the country at the World Senior Championships in Tokyo in September.
Everything I think is in plans. Like I'm saying that I'm challenging all the companies. I'm busy on that project to make sure when athletes qualify for Olympics and World Champs, and also I can add on the 50 kilometer and 100 kilometer. I'm planning on that to make sure that our athletes, when they go to the camp, they must have incentives for the camps, incentives to represent the country so that they can focus on those competitions. So we are busy on that one.
In the meantime, in football, Maruma Gallant's coach Alexandra Lafitte hopes to win his first South African trophy on Saturday against Orlando Pirates in the Carling Knockout Cup final in Polokwane. In just 5 months since joining the Bloemfontein-based club, the Frenchman has reached a major cup final and is possibly 120 minutes from lifting the trophy. Lafitte says that this would be the best way to honor the club after they took a chance on him as a young coach.
Yeah, for me, I'm very excited. I'm very happy to play this final. But honestly, I'm focused and concentration to help the club and the team to win the trophy. But it's a very important moment for me, for the team, for the club, and for that, I want to respect Maroon Magellan Saturday, and I hope we win the trophy.
Well, then in golf, Rory McIlroy is back in Australia for the first time in 11 years, chasing a second Stonehaven Cup at the Australian Open in Royal Melbourne. Now, the Masters champion has already declared 2025 his career-defining year with victories at the Augusta, the Players' Championship, the Pebble Beach, and the Irish Open, plus Ryder Cup glory. Now, the world number two wants to finish the season in style on Australian soil. Don't forget that the countdown is on for the Africa Cup of Nations, which kicks off in just 18 days from the 21st of December to the 18th of January. SABC will broadcast all 52 matches live on SABC2, stream them on SABC Plus, and provide full coverage on SABC Radio. SABC Sport is the official broadcaster of AFCON 2025, and it's game on everywhere. Before I say goodbye, Ashraf, you wanted to talk about the World Cup draw
Yes,
that is
I
coming
did.
up.
And thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
So basically, it's going to be four parts. In terms of the first part, it's 12 seeded teams, the top four ranked, and the next five best countries are in that first top. So the likes of Spain, Argentina, France, England, Portugal, Netherlands. This is like the top
Yeah,
teams, right?
yeah.
And then also the host teams, Canada, Mexico, and USA. Then there's part two, three, and four. And obviously, South Africa is in part three. And then there's going to be groups from there on in terms of the draw. It's going to be from Group A until Group L, and no group will have more than one team from the same confederation. Well, UEFA is the exception.
Because they got too many, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, for South Africa, I mean, this time around, so it's what, eight? How many groups this time around?
A to L.
12 groups, eh?
Yeah.
Am I losing touch now, these things? So this year it's not a 32-team World Cup. It's a, what is it, like 40 teams in the World Cup or something like that?
48.
Oh, my goodness, man. Like, it's a, actually, here's a question. Which country did not qualify for the World Cup? Not which country has qualified. I mean,
There's actually
you know that.
6 more spots still up for
They're still
grabs.
not even
Remember,
sorted
there's still
out. They
those
have to
playoffs
have
that are
playoffs.
coming up.
So
until
48 will qualify, but that means
including Italy.
so
Who would have
in the
thought?
groups, yeah. Okay, yeah, Turkey as well, I believe, right?
Yeah.
In the World Cup, so this time round to qualify for the next stage, You don't have to be in the top 2 any longer. That has been my
The
big
rules have
argument.
changed. Yeah.
So that means,
You say it's what now? It
well,
makes it seem like it's easy
yeah,
now.
I think of the third place teams, only 4 of the 12 third place teams, and correct me if I'm wrong, only 4 of the 12 third place teams. So all the fourth place teams do not qualify for the knockouts. Only 4 of the third place teams do not qualify, which means 8 qualifies. So I'm actually saying you have to be pretty useless not to qualify for the last 32.
But if you're
Compared to
saying that,
before, where you have to be in the top 50% to qualify. This is like matric stories once again.
but then what do you say about a big nation like Italy that is still going to go to the playoffs when you expect them to
No, but
qualify
that's in the playoff
automatically?
stages because they're playing against other guys. I'm talking about at the World Cup
In terms of qualifying
tournament
for the
proper.
World Cup, aren't you talking about
Well, if they don't
qualifying for the
qualify, that's their problem. If they're not good enough,
Are
then
you saying that they're useless? Because you just said it now, Mas.
well, if they don't qualify, then in terms of the challenge that they had to overcome, they were unable to meet the challenge. So in that context, if they don't qualify, then they would be useless for that tournament. Yes, I'd be comfortable saying that. Doesn't mean they're not a useless nation. They're a great football nation, and the same would apply to anybody else too. Like I'm disappointed Nigeria is not going to be there.
Yeah.
Because they're one of the African powers and you want them there. But the reality is, no country deserves to be there because, like, you know what, they're Nigeria or they're Italy. Like, no, you must deliver.
Listen, at the end of the day, South Africa is there, and we are yet to find out which team is going to be in our group.
Yeah, but I'm saying let us not judge ourselves with a 30%er. And it's a very topical conversation right now. We mustn't just pitch up at the World Cup. We must gear ourselves to qualifying for the last 32, to try and get to the last 16. And then who knows, last 8. I mean, that's what way we need to be as a country because we're one of a select group of nations who've actually hosted a World Cup. Very many others have not done so. So we must set our standards much higher than much lower. Yeah.
Well, we hope that they do well, but starting at the Africa Cup of Nations, which is starting on the 21st of December. Ke na dumeng kgapele, Modimo ke yo.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 Rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
I don't love going to school. I don't love sitting in a classroom with 50 other children. But I do love learning. Ngiyakuthanda ukufunda isiXhosa as a language. I do love getting good grades. I do love UCT Online High School because I do love my future. Apply online before 19 December.
Boxing meets fashion. While boxers exchange heavy punches in the ring, fashion and entertainment will brighten the night at the AA2 Multifunctional Center in Soweto. This is the Bring Sexy Back Boxing Tournament. Experience the incredible combination of boxing and fashion. Bring Sexy Back Boxing Tournament this Friday, 5 December at 8 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC Sport on TTT Channel 4. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
Economic news on SAFM. Facts and figures you can count on.
Right, of course, there's the markets coming up, and with me, as always, setting the agenda, Jimmy Moyaha.
Good afternoon, Ashraf. Good afternoon to our listeners. We're going to be taking a look at the latest developments out of National Treasury. Yesterday, they confirmed that they'd appointed FNB as an administrator to resolve the Itala matter and ensure that the depositors of Itala received their monies, some 2.2 billion rands worth in terms of what National Treasury has set aside from their perspective to cover those expenses there. And then we're going to have that conversation rather with National Treasury themselves and get a sense of what that means, where we go from here, and what next steps lie ahead for that bank. And then we have a conversation with the Competition Commission taking a look at the cargo cartels, the shipping companies. 8 of them had been under investigation by the Competition Commission. Some recommendations have been sent through from that perspective to the Competition Tribunal around prosecution and what they would like to see as an outcome there. So we're going to speak to the Competition Commission, get a sense or an understanding of what went on there and how they found the cartel. And then we're going to have a conversation with the Bureau for Economic Research, taking a look at business sentiment. Business confidence data came out suggesting that there is a lot more confidence from a business perspective in the South African markets, but it is not all smooth sailing as yet. So we still have to get a sense of some of those driving factors there and what we make of them. Then we have a conversation with the team at Allan Gray, taking a look at the evolution of the all share index in the current economy. We've seen quite the performance from the all share in this particular year. So we're going to take a look at that, reflect on that, and perhaps get a sense of what it means going into 2026. Then, because it's Wednesday, we're going to wrap up the show with an executive lounge conversation. We're going to be speaking to the managing director at RS South Africa, Brian Andrew, getting to know him a little bit better and getting to know him beyond his work responsibilities. Before we get to those conversations, the markets have had a pleasant day in the case of the Rand. I suppose if you're into the crypto space and holding Bitcoin as well, you'll be happy to know that it's back above $90,000 despite kind of seesawing up and down at this point between those levels. The Rand, though, 17 Rand 5 cents against the US dollar, 22 Rand 71 against the British pound, 19 Rand 88 against the euro, and one Australian dollar, 11 Rand and 24. One Bitcoin, as I said, above the $90,000 mark, at $92,000 a coin, or in Rand terms, around 1.57 million Rand with that stronger Rand. And if we look at the equity markets, they were by and large in the green. I suppose bit of a mixed bag, though, if you're looking at Asian markets. The Hang Seng was down about 1.3%, but the Nikkei in Tokyo was up about 1.1%. So difficult to make sense of some of these movements, but thankfully we've got Sasfin Wealth's David Shapiro joining me on markets later on to make sense or help make sense of these movements. If we look at the local front, it was a green day from our side. The resources sector was the only sector that kind of finished in the red, but marginally so by comparison, down about 0.25%. Financials were up 1.2%, industrials up 0.1%, the all share up 0.45%, and the top 40 up a little over 0.33%. The gold price is still firmer above the $4,200 a fine ounce level, the Brent crude price below the $63 level, and the silver price chasing down that $60 level at $58.59 a fine ounce there. Platinum $1,660 odd a fine ounce. Palladium back above $1,500 a fine ounce. We're going to take a look at these movements a little later on when we come back, just after the 6 p.m. news. But for now, Ashraf, back to you.
Right, Jimmy, thanks for that. Of course, looking forward to your show 6 to 7 here on SAFM.
You are listening to the National Pulse with Ashraf Garda.
Tell you what, today's education story has just knocked even the Madlanga Commission off the top, knocked it off its perch, if I can call it that. Some people know exactly where I got that quote from, right? Tasha in Worcester. Hi, Tasha.
Hello, Ashraf, and good afternoon, listeners.
Good afternoon.
I have so much to say in so little time. I started teaching in 1996. The past 5 years, I've been involved in in-person tutoring, and education and teaching is my passion. And I've come to the conclusion, working with learners since 1996, that changing the pass rates might address some issues, but at the core is our current curriculum. And I'll illustrate it by pointing out, and I don't know how many parents know this, and obviously parliamentarians don't. In the senior phase, which is my area of speciality, learners have 10 subjects. 5 hours per week are devoted to home language, and 4.5 hours per week are devoted to mathematics. Now, I can tell you that is not enough time to get learners in grade 7. They are introduced to algebra and complex
with mathematical concepts. 4.5 hours per week is not enough. The curriculum is too full with subjects that are not unimportant, but you they can be focused on once a learner is proficient in the basics. And until that is not addressed, nothing will change in our education system. And I say this as somebody who sits with learners, parents fork out thousands of rands for extra class. And the reason is curriculum from grade 7 to 9 is filled up with 10 subjects, and 4.5 hours per week is devoted to
I
mathematics.
hear you. Which subjects would you drop?
I would drop economic management sciences, arts and culture, technology, and hear me out, I would also drop life orientation. I would just have, like, by the way, the Cambridge curriculum, and my son just wrote his AS level, and I'm familiar with the junior the Cambridge curriculum. They have 5 core subjects. They have social studies, which is a combination of geography and science. They have natural sciences, and they have language and that is what they focus on. And I'm not saying I love arts, but you cannot equip learners to begin working with those subjects when they can't do really
Okay.
complex
All right. I think you made your point very strongly. I wonder if others will concur with you. Thank you for that input, Tasha from Worcester. Right. Right. Let's pick up other comments from you. So here's one. Of course, I expected a reaction about the ultra rich.
Ashraf, we can't have picture of a country where there is ultra rich people living with ultra poor people who are literally surviving on scraps, dustbins. Eh, I mean, and call that sensible picture, Ashraf. It doesn't make sense, Ashraf. I mean, where is in this thing called Ubuntu? It just doesn't make sense.
Where is that? Well, listen, if we can develop that as a culture, we can't even seem to get that right, even within political parties, with each other and within themselves. I mean, there's an example, and that's why nobody buys into that properly. So I hear what you're saying. Point taken. How do we fully integrate this ethos of Ubuntu into our lives, like every single day? And I welcome thoughts on that one. Right, here's another on education.
Mostly this is the point. If you are a parent of a grade 12 learner, because he's talking about matric, he would understand that there is a certificate, there is a diploma kind, and there is also the bachelor, where the learner can then be admitted into the university. So there are 3 still in terms of the pass requirements, and each has its own criteria in terms of obtaining it. And it will be very wrong. And that's why I always say, parents, if they go to school, they will know that the principal or the teachers will explain the pass requirements of the FET, further education and training. Thank you.
All right, got that. There we are. Another comment on that. Right, there's more from you, and I'll pick it up after this.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 Rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
James, congrats on the babies.
Yeah, thanks. It's a wild ride.
You're a new dad, 2 babies, 0 sleep, and 1 car that apparently couldn't cope.
Yeah, ish. The hatchback was my baby, but it just didn't have enough space for my two new babies.
And are you happy with the price when you sold to We Buy Cars?
Very. We've even got some extra cash to splurge on one of those fancy brands that you basically need a license for.
Good luck, James. We Buy Cars. Geared for family, geared for you.
The stage, the lights, the crowd, everything's perfect until suddenly someone slips on the dance floor. A speaker lands in the buffet. In an instant, your masterpiece is a mess. That's why Auto & General is there with events liability insurance. We handle the unexpected so you don't have to. Plan the party, wow the guests, leave the rest to us. For more information on events liability insurance, visit autogen.co.za. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Call us on 086 000 2032.
All right, there's more comments from you. This is the National Pulse, you know that, and the pulse rate races every single minute of the 3 hours that we host the show. There's the Madlanga Commission, which is still on, but we've just taken up so many calls from you that we've had to pick up on it. And yeah, there's more comments. I agree. Let's see. I agree with the dropping of the subjects like life orientation and the reducing arts and culture to non-examination subjects. We did hygiene as a subject once a week in junior school, as a marked subject when I went to school in the guidance, as a non-examination subject in high school. We have to address the requirements for a pass and alongside that address the capacity issues at school. We are so focused on putting children in front of screens to learn subjects instead of having human touch in teaching and providing them with effective technology for reporting to the department and reducing manual reporting. So that's one. There's another good action of some schools in South Africa don't have any resources like former Model C schools. Teachers have to deal with resources or recourses that they have in public schools. Mathematics will always have the minimum hours in class, comes from Terence, and there's more, right? Okay, this is let's pick out some more comments from you. And earlier on, we had a range of thoughts around the Madlanga Commission and the commissioners too.
Made a good point.
Hello, Ashraf and the entire team. You know, I feel sorry for the commissioners. You know, this is why municipalities are not performing well. If you listen to what the former city manager was saying, and this other director is saying today, I know, I can't. We should make sure. It's not make sure, man.
Okay, make sure. There we are. Just feel sorry for the commissioners. There's more about the commissioners, but here's another.
Hi, Ashraf. This is KM. Concerning the Madlanga Commission, I've learned that these officials, government officials, they are actually running the institution of the government, like they are running their kitchens, they are running their dining rooms there at home, where they say they actually send their children over, give me salt, give me this, take this, bring that broom, sweep here, open the gate, close the door, close the windows. It's like that. They are not using the guidelines, the proper channels to run the institution. They don't even have evidence. They don't put things in files. They are just doing things as they please there. They must be called to order, and those who are supposed to go to court, they must go to court and then suffer the consequences and go to jail. Thank you very much.
Okay, and here's another.
Good afternoon, Ashraf and SAEFM. What stand out for me, it's incompetence. The guy is so incompetent. He's not even confident. You know, triple yes. So disappointing. You know, if we are led by these people like this, you are in crisis. You know, that's why we need to recommend a student from university who did criminal justice to appoint them there to become professional and doing things in a professional manner. This thing of ANC deployment, yeah, guys, so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. How did the guy manage to get that position? Thank you, David, here in Klerksdorp.
Okay, got that, David. Here's one. Ashraf, I bet you Mkonazi said, oh, sorry, 200 times when giving his testimony from Dan, right? Here's another.
Yeah, Ashraf, I'm very good. Yeah. Hey, I don't know how this guy rose through all those ranks to reach to such a high rank. Tim Clemens is just pathetic. He's a non-performer. I don't know. It's unfortunate, man.
Sure. Well, one thing this is showing up is our public servants, aren't they?
Ashraf Tabundo, from his view, you see, this man is Mkwanazi man. It's a disaster, and it's worrying when people like this are occupying senior position in our municipality, and we expect our municipality to function. This is a disgrace. This guy cannot remember, you see, cannot call, you see. Yeah, this is the South Africa we're living in. Thank you, Ashraf.
Okay, here's another.
You see now, you see. Good afternoon, Ashraf. You see, this guy, Brigadier Doctor Commissioner Mkwanazi, I think he's like his partner. I don't know, his partner or colleague, or I don't know, but the former city manager, Dr. Mashaz, I think he's like here because he keeps on saying, no, he learned this from Ganga. He didn't know. You didn't know about something that you were doing. You don't know about something that you were doing. You don't know about the letter that you received and signed. So they're just playing games. Both of them, they're playing games, I think. You see?
I see. That's like you see, I see. That's like the standard. That's the South African word of the day. I must do that every day. Like, what's the one word of the day that we've all picked up on? And now today, or the word of the phrase is like, you see? Okay, I think I need to leave it at that. I can tell you now there's about 20 more voice notes, and I wish I could play more, but you see, we're out of time, unfortunately, right? So we'll do it again tomorrow. It should be fascinating. Another big day tomorrow. Remember that. And we'll cover the Madlanga Commission for sure. But thanks for listening in, and feel free to comment. You can also, you can tweet me even later on, or post on social media. You'll find myself and SFM Radio, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, whatever we've got, threads, we got it all covered. So love to engage with you on those platforms. It's now 6 o'clock, time for the news. Here's Utsile Saku.